Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell,
Hello.
Matt Murray,
Hello.
and that's it. That's it. That's all this week because James Farley couldn't be bothered once
He
again.
needs his sleep.
He doesn't. He needs his sleep. He
You all need that
doesn't.
sleep, Sean.
I do love how every time, like, he has to send us a message that says, "Right, these are the dates that I can't do this month." Every month we get that message in the WhatsApp group, and he doesn't even apologise anymore. That's it.
No.
It's just this is the problem. It's
Back
just
to
become
life.
expected. Was it less than 75%?
Yeah.
That's what it
Cammy on
says.
Blue Sky mentioned it was 71% so far for the year.
Nice.
James, what you doing, man? Come on, put the effort in. Like our Patreon producers have done this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights for Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Thomas, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Jack Oven, Grey Dragon Claw, Ramalaptar, Colin the Car Wanker Smith, Lee Keybottom, Mock Turtle Soup, My Dog Skip, Dean, and Steve the Nuke Littler. If you watch that on YouTube, I stuck my middle finger up there because Matt was fucking around with the document when I was reading it, and not a slight towards any of our Patreon
What
producers.
was I
this
doing?
month. They've gone for, I don't know, but you were highlighting stuff as I was reading it, and it was really fucking. Did you see it, Sean?
I did, yeah. I saw Stan was
Yeah.
highlighted.
Yeah,
Also,
it was a
why
bit
is,
annoying.
No. Well, I think that was an accident if that was the case.
Oh, was it? Okay, then why are you
tab.
looking so naughty? Why are you looking
Because
so
I
naughty?
moved my cursor because I was really close to deleting the thing on your things item, and then I thought I'll leave it, and I went to open a
Why
new
did
tab.
you do? Why would you delete that?
No reason.
Right. Okay. Right. We're going to talk
Important
about
news.
this. We're going to talk.
Just
Right. Okay. We
quickly,
need to talk about a few things.
Why
Okay.
is Ramalaptar
Sure.
in italics as well? What's going on there?
That's a reminder for me.
B.
Okay.
B.
That's admin. That's admin.
They went full Nelson. You can go full Nelson too by going to patreon.com/TCGS. Thank you to everyone that went full Nelson this month. We appreciate you so much. You keep us going. And anyone that joined us at patreon.com/TCGS. We cannot thank you enough. I'd like to apologise for my voice now. I was less than 24 hours ago in Reds in Butlins at a silent disco singing my little heart out. So I am not in the mood for today. Let's see how it goes. But while I'm not in the mood, why don't we just ride this aggression for a bit? Matt was on Random Access Memories, Ian Lee's Random Access Memories this week. Definitely go and check that out. You can listen to his episode. There's a James episode. There's a Sean episode. There's a David Turner's episode.
There's two David Jones episodes.
Well, the other one was an Ian Lee one, really. But why is it? Why are you doing all this fake? Hey, man, I'm so humble. Hey, I don't appear on other podcasts because I'm so. I don't believe.
I don't
in
think it's
myself.
humble.
I don't believe it. Hey, I saw that you were going to talk about random access memories, so I was going to delete it from the document because I don't want that sort of attention, baby. I'm not. Hey,
Well,
I'm
you
such
got
an
me there.
elusive character, baby. What are you talking about? Why are you acting like
I mean,
this,
all
man?
of that is in your head.
Oh no! Literally one of the most arrogant men I've ever met. Read.
I am the best, though.
Yeah, but this is it. Oh, it's the golden era without you, Dave. I'm really, but hey,
Well,
man, I'm
again,
so
that's not me,
so
that's what listeners are saying.
self-conscious that I couldn't possibly go on Kane and Rinse. Fuck off, Matt. Fuck off.
They've
Also,
never invited me, rightly so.
I did listen to that podcast, and I should point out something that I've already sent Ian the message saying that
right, is
this
there
wasn't
feedback?
true. Yeah, there's a little bit of feedback. When you sent me that DM, and Matt reads out, basically, on the show, if you need any other excuse to go and listen to it, Matt reads out a DM that he sent me just after we started JoyPod, right? I'd saved it, I'd sent it to him, and he reads it out on that podcast, right? But he starts by going, yeah, I sort of knew David a little bit before I sent it. No, you didn't. That is the
I think
first
I said
time.
I taught you.
Nope.
I taught you on the via the forum, surely.
You were on the same forum as me. We
Yeah, well,
never
exactly.
spoke. We never spoke.
I think that
You
counts as
sent that.
speaking if we're both in the same forum, Fred.
No, you never spoke to me. The first time you spoke to me ever directly was that DM, and
Not directly,
I don't
maybe,
think
yeah.
I replied.
Yeah, I
don't
wouldn't.
think I replied. And then if I remember correctly, we met at that bath meet, the Rollmuck bath meet, and you left it a good few hours before you went, oh, I was the one that sent you the DM.
Quite embarrassed, isn't it?
Yeah, good. Right to be embarrassed.
I've only listened to a little bit of it so far, but I did enjoy.
Oh, you're angry and switched it off.
I did enjoy the bit where you asserted that you streamed, quote, Metroid, the original Metroid. That was Super Metroid, man. It's Metroid 3.
Yeah, that was...
it was one of them. I said old games are rubbish. They're all in the same bucket, aren't
they? So Random Access Memories on your podcast provider, you'll be able to listen to Matt's... you'll be able to hear Matt send a DM to me with the words "Dem Podcasts" on it. So lovely bit of podcasting, Matt. No, I did enjoy it. It was a really good episode, Matt. Well done.
Thanks.
You proud of yourself now?
Yeah.
Oh,
so proud.
I'm glad you did it.
Yeah? You glad you did it? Yeah, you're gonna do more.
Oh yeah, no, definitely glad I did it. Yeah, I'm not going to listen to it, but yeah, I'm glad.
Hey man, I can't possibly listen to my own voice because I'm so fucking humble, man.
Can we move on?
You know, he doesn't watch any of his films.
Hey,
Let's move
can
on.
we move on, baby? I can't deal with this pressure. You make me sick, man. Just be yourself on the podcast for once. Just be yourself.
Okay, should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, feedback. Mock Turtle Soup has message. I'll be up for a Zelda-style Star Wars game. Some proposed titles could be Luke's Awakening, The Twilight Saber Princess, or Skywalker Sword.
Not bad.
Luke's Awakening is the one, right?
Luke's Awakening would be incredible.
Yeah. The Twilight Saber Princess is too. It's just too many steps to get there, isn't it? It's too many steps to get there. Okay, Mock Turtle Soup is up for a Zelda Star Wars game. So, isn't that?
So, we might have the news section.
Did we make that joke at the time? That isn't that Star Fox Adventures?
Oh no, we didn't.
Shit, I would love to do a stream of that. I think. Is that available anywhere, or have they buried
Star Fox
that?
Adventures?
Not officially. No, I think you'd have to emulate it.
Really? You don't know what Star Fox Adventures is, Matt?
I do remember it is. I just wasn't. I was just trying to remember if it was going to be on Nintendo Online, but clearly it won't be.
No, because it was GameCube, wasn't it? Yeah. I would like to try that because everyone says it was dreadful because it wasn't supposed to be a Star Fox game, was it?
I don't think it was dreadful. It's just it wasn't what anyone wanted from a Star Fox game because it wasn't a Star Fox game.
But then when they eventually did release a new Star Fox game, it was also not what anyone wanted from a Star Fox game. Bizarre. All right.
Okay, I don't remember this, so hopefully you will be able to. Major PDD, don't leave me on the edge of my seat. What the fuck happened to this little 6-year-old girl?
So this is.
Well, thank God you remember, Sean. Because I don't.
Was that from Keep Driving?
Yes, this is about the Keep Driving chat. You know, I was saying one of the missions is like you pick up this girl who's like lost and she like can't remember where her parents live, so you have to keep taking her to different places. She's like, oh, I think it's here actually. I think it's here. So I haven't actually finished that quest yet. But I saw in the achievements there's an achievement for like, oh yeah, get the little girl back to her parents. So I assume that is what happens at the end of the mission. As I say,
well, yeah, but what if you don't get the achievement?
What?
Well, I mean, maybe there's an alternative where you don't get it and you don't get the achievement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because of the way the game works, I don't think there's anything to stop you just booting her out at the nearest town and going, off you go. Deal with it. But obviously, that would make me ill with stress. So I'm never going to do that. But yeah, I mean, as I said, there's an argument that maybe she shouldn't be given back to her parents, given that they let her just get on a fucking bus and get lost and then end up hitchhiking with a stranger.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Take it to the police, if anything.
Yeah.
Straight to police. Right. Geen, I'm with you, Sean. Every time I use my Steam Deck's trackpad, I scream. Very awkward, since I usually use a deck in my office cubicle. Thanks for letting me be natural.
Yep.
Is it the same technology as that was used in the pads that they released?
I don't know. I think they're just normal trackpads. Because I know the Steam controller was like a sort of concave thing, wasn't it? And no one liked it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, no, I heard nothing but bad things for that. I said we've mentioned it on the show tons of times, but when they were going for like £3 or whatever on the Steam store, and you went, it's got to be worth a pump for this, and everyone went, no, it's not. No,
we'll take up space in your house.
Use your OnLive pad instead. Okay.
Oh, Gein's back again. Hi, TCGS. I think I already wrote one feedback this week, but after years of listening, TCGS finally entered my dream psyche, and well, I know my obligation.
Come on, here we go.
In my dream, I was clearing out my house and came across 3 CDs. 2 of them were cinematics from a pre-release Warcraft 3, and the other from a demo of StarCraft. I put the discs on eBay, and none other than Sean Bell won my auction. Wanting to ensure that the package got to Sean safely, I decided to fly from the United States to England to deliver it personally. Of course, once I got there, I had an ordeal of customs to get the CDs into the country and then felt incredibly shy to meet the legend himself. But once I did, he was incredibly nice and couldn't believe I made a long journey when a couple of stamps would have done the trick. It was around this point in the dream where I suddenly switched to me being a little dude in a giant house, aka Tinykin. Or a la Tinykin. When I woke up and was baffled by what the hell my brain was going on about. Hope you enjoy your CDs, Sean, for a couple of games I don't think I've even heard you mention. Thanks from Gein.
No worries. Thanks for spending presumably hundreds of dollars to deliver them. You lost money on that, Gein.
This didn't happen.
What?
This was a dream, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Right, sorry.
Stop being silly, Sean.
Imagine
It
if
was
I
a
had
dream.
the disc and I was like, well, where did I get these?
Oh, that would have been incredible.
Yeah, and then the game wakes up again. It's like, what the fuck? I told you, me and my brother used to do that to each other every now and then. Just go, Michael,
Flying from America
wake
to
up,
England with...
wake up, Michael, wake up, and he, like, and they would just freak out. Just shut up. It was, we
Sounds horrible, yeah.
Yeah, it was, it's psychological warfare. You didn't do this stuff with your brother?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, we did. Don't get me wrong. Like, we used to argue all the time and shit. I'm not like, oh, actually, my family was perfect, unlike yours. No, we used to argue constantly, but we never like tortured each other like that. I don't think.
Yeah, no, we did some bad things. Should we do the next bit of
I was
feedback?
nice, my sister. That was very nice. Stuart Fraser. Hi, gents.
I told you that she used to be when he was alive. My sister was petrified of Michael Jackson. So, like in the middle of the night, we used to play like Beat It under her door.
Oh God, what a household!
Yeah, good.
You didn't do that to your brother, Sean?
Nope.
You didn't play any Michael Jackson's hits?
No, well, I don't think he was afraid of Michael Jackson. Although, as you say, perhaps he should have been.
Yeah. Maybe next time you see him, just play music and see
maybe
what
he's
he thinks.
afraid of Elton John, and that's why he never knew what Step Into Christmas was.
Or Michael
Oh,
Bolton.
that's true. Yeah, there's no one Elton John allowed in the house.
Sorry, why Michael Bolton?
Just another Michael.
Okay.
Stuart Fraser.
Fucking hell. Ian's broken you with his podcast. He sent back a broken Matt Murray.
Yeah. Stuart Fraser, hi gents. Really enjoyed your talk on Citizen Sleeper 2. I also struggled at the start, and which led me to fail a contract, break 2 dice, and have the other 3 glitched. I failed the main. I failed one objective.
Timed objective, I think it's supposed to.
The main time objective, and I was ready to give up. But it actually gave me the space to fix it at the next area, so fully invested now. It really makes me think that the opening area is designed to punish you for not following the systems as intended, but it really doesn't explain that. Can't say I'm surprised seeing so many in the Discord restarting. There's another bit, but should we start on that Citizen Sleeper bit, Sean?
Yeah, go
I
on.
can do it, or do you want to save it for what you've been playing? It's up to you.
Yeah, well, we'll save it. Anyway, okay, we'll carry on with Stuart.
Sean's working on his defence, Matt. That's what it is.
No. I said last week, there should be more of a warning that it's different and harder, and even as.
Yeah, but you also said last week. Then how do I know, then, guys? And then
James was like, "Oh, it doesn't explain everything." Like, well, it does. The words are all there on the screen. Just got to read.
Just got to rearrange them.
Interpret them.
You've just got to put the effort in, James.
Stuart continues. Anyway, I wanted to share a story on the topic of game embarrassment from last week. When the Amiibo were first released, I went to Smith's with my cousin and best friend. We were geeking out massively, picking them all up and trying to decide which to buy. We then heard in a very local tradesman accent, "Fucking hell, you boys are a bit keen." We were in our 20s, so it completely felt called out. Well, it's just, I don't know, it felt like local tradesman. That's what I went with. Fucking hell, you boys are a bit keen. We were both in our 20s, so felt completely called out by this guy who appeared to have his life together. He spoke next, saying, "I think Samus looks fucking great." We then spent the next 20 minutes talking about games and even added him to our Nintendo friends lists. We never got his real name, but the moral of the story is don't be embarrassed to geek out about what you enjoy, and people will always surprise you. So shout out to Gaffer16 for being such a cool guy, and some complete losers geeking out over Nintendo toys. Keep up the good work from
I
Stuart.
fucking love that his Nintendo name is Gaffer16.
Can we have Gaffer 16 as the episode title or potential one? At least write that down.
Certainly potential.
Because they could you imagine Gaffer 16 searched his own username and was like, "What the fuck? There's a podcast about me. That cannot be right, can it?" And then like Stuart Fraser downloading the podcast on Wednesday and going, "Oh no, they haven't."
Oh, no. It was actually Gaffer 19.
Yeah, do you reckon people sit there and like I have, when you go through a phase of something, you look back on it and go, "What the fuck was I thinking?" Like
podcasting.
at the time, it felt. Do you reckon Amiibo collectors think that now? They go, it happened so quick. And I ended up with all of these plastic toys that I spent £15 on each. And
Are any of them worth any money?
why.
I think I assumed it would be like a thing forever, but now it's just like no one gives a shit. I don't
Yeah,
even
they're
know
not
if
like
they bring
Beanie
out
Babies,
new
are
ones.
they?
Yeah, just opening up a cupboard. It's got like half-filled Beanie Babies. You got what is it, Pop Heads or whatever those fucking things are called. I mean, look, you're absolutely right, Stuart. I'm joking. I've always been of that mindset where it is just, if you like something, just be very, be positive. Just don't be shy of what you
Own
like.
it.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of people at work, I work in the construction industry, and the amount of people that think video games are stupid and a waste of time and all this sort of stuff. And the moment they go, "Oh, you play video games," I go, "Yeah, I fucking love it." What of it? Do you want to fight? That's what I do. And then I pick up a brick and chuck it through the new window they've installed and go, "Come on then, come on."
Yeah, I'll be yours. Sorry,
I
just
play Street Fighter.
Are Amiibos worth lots of money? Because I've still got this one sealed.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, that is
just
worth
thought-
a pretty penny.
I just thought I'd buy the Zelda and Loftwing. I bought two of them. I don't know why.
Why?
Do the same one.
Yeah, because
Oh my God.
I guess I bought one to use, and I don't actually remember ever using it. And I thought, I'll buy a second one in case it's worth any money.
What's the matter with you?
I don't
That'll
think
be
it
worth,
is.
That'll be worth a bit now. I would have thought.
And no, I don't.
Yeah, go on. If it's
Loftwing-
£1,000, they're incredible.
Right, so it's currently available for the game collection, selling it for £25. eBay secondhand £17.95. I can get it for right now. And not only that,
I'll give it to
eBay
you for 15.
£17.95, and it says at the top, "Price drop."
Yeah, but I've looked after this one, so
Well, I mean,
£100.
this looks pretty looked after.
hundo.
But no,
Yeah,
it
anyone
goes
wants
back
it as a
to the thing that Stuart's talking about goes back. I was saying the other week about how it always freaks me out when we find out that like doctors or managers or whatever business owners listen to this podcast, because I'm just like, because I've still got that internalized, I don't know, shame, I guess, that it's like, oh no, successful
Really?
people don't play games. They've got better things to do.
I don't know if they. I think
Go
they
to the
like
theatre
to
and
like
read
you
books.
to.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
What? They read books in the theatre?
Yeah, well, at the
Well,
same
it's-
time, I think that's probably frowned upon. But do you know what I mean? I know that's stupid, but there is part of me that's like that. Yeah, that has that sort of reaction. It's weird.
yeah, I know. But in my head, I just think I couldn't give a fuck what those people do. I
No,
love.
no, it's, yeah, like I
wanna-
don't care. It's just it's a pleasant
Sounds like you
surprise
care.
to me when I find out that some of our listeners are doing all right.
Yeah, they're doing all
They're all doing all right.
They get
Anyway.
themselves dressed. Not all of them. Some of them. I also going back to the Citizen Sleeper 2 stuff though. I am particularly. I joke, but I am particularly bad at that stuff like that. Starting a new game, the amount of times I'm hammering A. Yeah, I know. What? Wait a minute. What's going on? I don't understand any of it. But I don't.
Yeah, because
I-
and that goes back to. Do you remember Indie Game the movie? When when Ed McMillan was talking about like, right, here's like the opening levels of Super Meat Boy. And he's like, yeah, I could put text on the screen saying, press this to do this. He's like, but people will skip it and they will forget. So I put in scenarios where they are forced to engage with what I'm trying to teach them, and then they're much more likely to learn it. And it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and games still do that fucking wall of text. Or here's the controller
Yeah,
with
yeah,
about 20
yeah.
different annotations on it. It's like, no one's looking at that, man. That's
Yeah,
not-
have you read the whole in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 when it for the
Oh,
most
fuck.
part it's so strange.
Yeah.
It does some things in the most impressive ways, like telling a backstory. Or like the way you pick your perks is by you having a conversation, and then saying, "So, are you pretty handy with a sword?" And you could go, "Yeah, I'm really good with a sword." Or what. And then that's how you pick your perks. And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you get on a horse. There's 2 pages of text. And I'm like, I'm not reading it. I know that is bad, but you know, I'm not here to read. If I would bloody read a book if I could, but I can't. So I'm here playing my video games. Yeah, exactly, Sean. Yeah, okay, all right, let's move on.
Louis Boo, on the subject of YouTube Premium, without wanting to sound like I'm advertising for Google, if you watch a lot of videos / podcasts, having no ads and being able to listen with your phone screen off is a bit of a game changer. Plus, you get YouTube Music included, which has a bigger library than Spotify, and who doesn't need an excuse to cancel Spotify?
Amen.
I think if it was like £5, I'd be interested. When Sean said it was £20 a month,
that's for a family plan. I think it's like £12 for an individual one. It's still not cheap.
And Spotify is like 18 quid or something crazy.
Yeah.
We pay a lot for
Spotify.
Spotify.
Did I tell you I've cancelled Spotify?
No, why would you do that?
Because the
don't you like music?
Yeah, I do like
don't
music.
You
which
like
is why I don't
music?
support the thieves at Spotify.
Like you've never had a fucking LimeWire software downloaded onto your computer. Don't get me all the bigger now.
Back then. We don't talk about that period of time.
I told you. I mean, I'll tell you the story again. It's still one of my favourites. Was my dad when it all that stuff had started, and he had like access to like this Russian website that you could pay. Like it was like it worked out about £2 every album, and he was using this. It's like, you pay £2 an album, you can just download it digitally, and it from this, and it's all legit. Right? And we're like, fine. And then a few months later, I think they must have shut off access to it from the UK, so he couldn't do it anymore. And he went, "No, I found something better, boy. All you do is a one-off payment, £20. You get every album for free after that." I was like, "That doesn't sound right, Dad. That does not sound right." He said, "No, it's one-off payment, £20." And he said, "Come here." I said, "Show me," because I don't trust this website. Dad, show me. So he went, "Right, so you go to this website here, you put in your details, you pay £20, and then they send you to this website and you download this software." Dad, that's LimeWire. What? Type LimeWire in to Google. Right, there you go. You can download it for free. Right, so is this just what I'm illegally downloading music? Yeah, you are.
The police
on
their
way,
software.
Right, okay, well, I said, "And you put your card details into a really dodgy website." And he went, "Don't tell your mother." Okay, all right.
Yeah, I do hear YouTube Premium is good. Yeah, it's 13 quid a month, and but I'm paying 20 quid for Spotify because it's family account. And I'm not gonna cancel it until a better streaming option comes available. That isn't YouTube Premium. I'm sorry. I've been.
That's the thing is, we'll get into this on the bonus show, but yeah, I looked into it, and all the other streaming services are as good as Spotify now. They have
right.
So they have everything day one.
Sean, he's not paying for the music. He's not paying for Spotify. You know what he's paying for, right?
Well, of course I'm paying for the music. What else is on there?
You know what he's paying for?
Spotify Wrapped.
Sean, that's what he's paying for. Spotify Wrapped. Because when everyone's posting their Spotify Wrapped, he doesn't want to come along with his Amazon Music. Amazon Music.
I mean,
look at
no
the
reason
year.
to leave. I've been on this since 2011. It's like all the playlists, all that. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave unless there's something really brilliant.
I'll save it for the bonus show because when I tell you what I've switched to, you will laugh.
Sound Pete's FM.
Yeah, it's Sound Pete's Radio.
If they offered it, I'd be there.
Okay. Right, okay.
Okay,
exciting bonus
Will.
show this month, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
I told you I'd do something. I said we were going to record it last week, and we were like, "No, none of us have done anything." And I was like, "Would you give me a week?
I'll do something mad.
Hold my beer.
Music streaming service.
On my Sound Pete's.
I'll still never forget the episode where you announced you were getting rid of your smartphone and using an old style phone again. And you'd already stopped by the time we started recording.
That was a good, yeah. It was a good episode.
Okay, we're going to end feedback with Will. After listening to episode 435, where you boys talk about gaming in an era before Game Pass, it brought me back to when I was in middle school. The only 4 games I had on N64 were Ocarina of Time, Mario, Cruising USA, and Army Men Sarge's Heroes. I thoroughly rinsed the first 3 and played Army Men almost reluctantly. The game, for all intents and purposes, was a solid 5 or 6, but I still have warm memories of playing multiplayer with my friends. The bathroom level was a cornerstone in level design that's only recently been dethroned by the bathroom level in Tiny King. Sorry, you can hear me laughing. I don't know, it's making me laugh.
How many Tiny King references have we had?
I know about 2 out of nowhere.
I mean, it's a good game, but move on
Shut up.
is what I'm trying to say.
I'm realizing in this era of oversaturation in media, we're all wanting that same social magic we had as kids. Playing split screen has been replaced with online for the most part, and while I think it's ultimately more practical and convenient, our culture is losing something important. I think our short attention spans for video games are a symptom of our less nourished social lives. I find I get bored of a game when it's no longer being talked about. Anyway, I'm beginning to rant. Appreciate you boys making this pod. I'm a long-term listener in the US. Times are dark here and everywhere, really, I guess, and this show has been a warm, cozy refuge. Thank you, from Will.
Thanks, Will. I know exactly what you're talking about because I do. There are games that I'll play, and unless I'm really into it, if the conversation's died down, I'm like, don't have to go back to that. I think Indiana Jones was a good one for me.
Yeah, I'm glad I played that. But no, that's most weeks on the pod. I'm like, okay, talk about it is like the game to talk about, and then if it hasn't grabbed me, I'll move on. But that means I play a lot of like opening 2 or 3 hours of a game and then move on. But
yeah, but I mean, I just can't see. Like, I agree, but when you do fall in love with a game, it's going to be a little bit annoying for our listeners now because I do want to play the new Yakuza game. But I can't. I'm not getting off of Kingdom Come Deliverance. That's not happening anytime soon, and I haven't played it as much as I wanted to this week.
Yeah.
So I'm already behind. But it's all I'm going to be playing next week. I know it.
Oh, this is what's annoying me at the moment is on my plate I've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Avowed, which are superficially
games, right?
quite similar. But they're actually not at all, right? They deserve like their own separate conversations. You shouldn't really compare them. And yet, I am having to choose which one to play. Like, I probably can't juggle both. That'd be ridiculous. I'll be playing them both till like the next 3 months. But so yeah, and I hate having to choose between them. But
Avowed is shorter by the looks of it.
What, sorry?
Avowed is like a 20 to 25 hour game according to the internet.
So I think
whereas
I can probably
Kingdom Come's like a 450,000 hour experience.
I think I'm probably going to try and get Avowed done and then go back to Kingdom Come. So I think Kingdom Come is going to be a slow burner, which I think is fine. But then I am quite invested in, like, and again, I'm not saying you should compare them. There are things about Avowed I much prefer, and yet I really want to make sure Henry's all right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh boy, Henry.
Yeah, got a lot of time for Henry.
I'm excited to play my first. I played a little bit of Judgment, and maybe one of them. But yeah, I'm excited to play that Yakuza game.
I was going to say, I think people will argue it's not really a proper Yakuza game because you're a pirate in it, but that's sort of why I'm keen. So
yeah.
But then Monster Hunter's out in a couple of weeks. So
but I don't think you're a pirate in it though. That's the thing.
You have a big boat with cannons on it.
Yeah, but I think that might be a very small part of that game. The rest of the rest of the previews, I mean, I could be way wrong. I've not been keeping a close eye on it, but the rest of the previews I've seen, he's running around the same towns and beaches and everything, beating people up again. It's like, okay, but I could be wrong.
So I'm not going to get someone to walk the plank. That's what you're saying.
So you're not starting on Kingdom Come yet, Matt?
No, I only finished Citizen Sleeper tonight. So
shit. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
fine.
That is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/deartcgs. Leave your feedback.
Let's get to the news then. And the news is being read this week by Sean Bell.
Hello. Starting with a sad one. Viktor Antonov, who was the art lead on Half-Life 2 and Dishonored, as well as a bunch of other games, sadly passed away. He's only 52, which is obviously no age at all, and just it's been quite astonishing the amount of people who've been posting about it and talking about him. Just from those 2 games alone, it's like, oh yeah, shit, they both looked incredible, and they had, even despite being the age that they are, still have a look about them, like the design of like City 17 in
Oh,
Half-Life
yeah,
2,
it's
and the way
incredible.
that the shit. What do they call it? The big tower. It's got a proper name.
What, in Half-Life?
In Half-Life 2,
Wasn't it Citadel or something?
Citadel. Thank you. Like the design of that is still really striking. Yeah,
Yeah, that moment you go into like the courtyard and see it for the first time is like,
yeah,
it's still
shocking.
really powerful.
And the fact that that sort of still resonates through, like when you first see it in Alex as well, it's like holy shit, terrifying. So yeah, just really fucking sad. You worked on Prey as well, the recent one, well, relatively recent one. Which
Yeah,
again,
I've got here Prey, Doom, Fallout 4, Wolfenstein
man.
New Order. Real good games. Dishonored games, which is obviously stylistically, it's absolutely those games were stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like obviously I'm not going to lie and say that I'd heard his name before this news come out, but it's very clear that he had a big impact on the industry and was much loved. So yeah, really really sad to read that today.
Yeah.
He says he
Moving
moved
on.
from Bulgaria to Paris when he was just 17 to work or consult on games.
Yeah, terrifying, isn't it?
That is mad.
Yeah. So far, I don't think I'd left the M25 at that point in my life. Do you know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah, moving on. There was a state of play. We streamed it. It was fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been a lot of haha. Xbox are releasing more first-party games on PlayStation than PlayStation now this year, which I think is sort of valid. But I mean,
yeah, I don't know what's going on with Sony and first-party stuff at the moment.
Well, they
It
cancelled
seems
loads of
really
stuff, obviously, but
strangely quiet. Yeah, but then there is still stuff that they've announced that we still don't know what's going on with. Like where's Wolfenstein? Not Wolfenstein. Wolverine.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
Wolverine? Like they
Yeah.
mentioned that a few years ago. We had the leak, obviously, which I'm sure hasn't helped. But it does feel like it's like, right, what's on the horizon? What's next?
I mean, there's Ghost of Yotei, and I think people were expecting to see more of that at this state of play. But I think it's fair enough that it's probably too soon because we only saw it for the first time a couple of months ago, if that.
Is that this year, Ghost of Yotei?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got my fancy critics, so I hope so.
So yeah, I mean, what did we see? I was just going to call out some highlights. Saros, which is Housemarque's new game. I mean, this was just a CGI trailer, but it's Housemarque, so you know it's going to play good.
Well, what's more exciting about this game is not the trailer that we saw, but it's the information that come out afterwards about where they see this game. And the words from Housemarque seem to be very hinted towards. This is going to play like Returnal, but it is not going to be Returnal. It is not going to be. There's comments like we learned a lot from that game, and it's not about battering the player, making a really hard game anymore. It's about making sure people experience. Because look, Returnal was incredible. Like it was so good to play. I know you did. You never played it, Sean?
No, I didn't. I know I should.
Love it.
Yeah.
It was incredible. It was like a shooter version of Bayonetta is probably the best way I could describe it. It's all about dodging and taking aim and all that, but it was criminally hard, and to the point where I was like, and this was before the patches when I played it, like back in the old day, before it got fucking easy. But like it is, there was part of me that was so angry that I didn't get to see everything that game had to offer, and it was
I think I only got to the third biome, and it was clearly an amazing game. I was just like, it was just battering me too much and didn't have the willpower to keep going at it. But this one's got permanent upgrades and stuff and weapons. I
was going to say, so it's still sort of run based like Returnal, isn't it? But it's with each run you are building upon your successes and getting upgrades and stuff. So sounds really good.
And like it's just cool having Rahul Kohli in this. Like recognised him in the trailer, and he's a great actor and seems like a great guy in general. So that's great for him. And I mean, excited to see what he do with this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be brilliant. I genuinely think they're going to take what they learned from Returnal, and they're going to release one of the best action games of the generation. I genuinely think it's going to be a good game. So hopefully they live up to my hype. All right.
We got a release date for Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater. That's
Yeah, well, we had
definitely
that anyway, but
officially- Oh, was it? I thought it wasn't confirmed or something, but yeah.
well, no,
20
because
28th
the
of
trailer
August.
leaked like a week before, which had that 28th of August
see.
date on it. So,
Yeah.
but no, the trailer looks good. I'm still incredibly excited for that. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's a big one in late August.
Cool. Yeah, we've got confirmed release date for Borderlands 4, 23rd of September. I don't know what it is about Borderlands, right? I played loads of 1 and 2, played a bit of 3, and I've enjoyed all of it. And yet, whenever I see a Borderlands trailer, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. I just, something about, like, because...
Wasn't it attached to someone that really pissed you off?
It's fucking...
Well, Randy Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford, thank you for his name. It's
Right.
not really pissed me. Yeah. There was a whole thing of him leaving a USB stick with some barely legal porn on it in a medieval times. Sorry, listeners.
Oh, you've done it.
Although actually it's American, so that's they'll say it medieval. And he he annoys me. I just find him quite irritating. I think most people do. I don't think I'm alone in that. But yeah, like. I don't know. So the humor in Borderlands 1 and 2 obviously hasn't aged well. Borderlands 3, I don't really remember if the humor annoyed me in that or not. But obviously this will be new, right? And it'll be different writing, and it might be funny. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Just something rubs me up the wrong way with it, even though I've enjoyed the games in the past. So I should probably just shut up and probably enjoy it when it comes out.
They clearly think it's a big thing because there's going to be it's going to have its own state of play in the spring.
Yeah,
so they clearly see it as quite a big tempo release.
I mean, they still do. They're like, oh, it's got 16 billion weapons in it. It's like, yeah, no, it hasn't. It's just some of them have slightly different numbers on them, and you can't count them as different weapons. It's not.
It wasn't. It was like
meaningful.
16 billion attack styles or something.
Oh no, that's Warriors Abyss. We'll come to that.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm getting my games mixed up. Look, Borderlands is a weird one for me. It was nothing my mates got into at the time.
Mhm.
I believe some of our mates that I play with now were into it, but at the time when it first came out, like that lot, the guys I was playing with at the time weren't into it. So it was nothing that I really. It felt like it was more of a co-op experience. I don't know.
Totally.
I just didn't understand it. So I've not really got any need to go and play this one either. I mean, it didn't show me anything that made me go, "Wow, yeah, let's go. This looks great." There's nothing there.
Potentially, sort of fill a niche in terms of having, a massive amount of loot and missions and stuff and replayability with friends, etc., but without being a full-on service game. Kind of like Space Marine 2 did last year. Everyone's like, no, it's got the bits of like unlocking multiplayer stuff with friends that I like, but without feeling like I'm chained to it for the rest of my life. I don't know, maybe.
Right. Okay.
Onimusha, Way of the Sword, new trailer. This looked really cool. I thought I'll probably be too rubbish to play it. I've never been a Onimusha guy. I know it was like a long-running series for a while, but they've not.
Yeah, I remember playing on like PS1, but you said it's rubbish. What? I mean, is it now like a more of a Souls-like game than it was back in the day, where it's just more of an action game?
I mean, from what I saw from the trailer, it looked quite technical. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
It would be the obvious way to kind of adapt it to a more modern audience. But it looked really good.
Mm-hmm. We saw Leslie Benzies of Grand Theft Auto fame showed off Mind's Eye.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't really get anything from this.
Yeah, it looked very early. Even you know what I mean. It didn't. It looked too early to show off. Really.
Yeah.
It was like a bunch of clips sort of hastily chucked together in this sort of part trailer, part look at what we're working on for the next 20 years before it's available.
It looks better than the previous trailer announcement they had for it. It looked there's more gameplay than they showed off originally. And the fact this is
I mean, it looks really early, the stuff, unless it's going to come out like that, and then a bit worrying, isn't it? I wasn't blown away.
I thought it looked good. Obviously, it's from IO, or it's IO partners, or IO have a hand in it, so that's interesting.
Publishing it, right?
They're using kind of like the same engine that obviously Build a Rocket Boy have got for everything or everywhere, whatever it is. So, a lot of the and it's Leslie Benzies, president of Rockstar North, has got all the right ingredients, and it looks like open world action GTA like. So definitely interested, and the IO angle piques my interest a little bit more than if it was just a standard. Well, no, all the ingredients to me like gives it much more like of cachet than just like another random open world game. I feel like I think all the people involved have bring something more to the table and just it's another open world game. So I'm interested. I mean,
I don't know. Absolutely nothing. There was nothing in this that made me think it was going to be. I don't know. There's nothing that stood out for me. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
We're getting a new Shinobi game.
Now this was probably the best looking game there, right?
So this
looks
by
incredible.
The team that did Streets of Rage 4, which was great. This looked really cool. Just really decent 2D sort of hack and slash stuff. I was really impressed with this.
Never been the biggest Shinobi fan, to be honest. But I saw this and I thought, oh no, that looks right up my street. Yep. So let's see how that one pans out.
Mm-hmm. I'm just skimming this now because I mean there was other stuff that we thought was cool. There was a new Split Fiction trailer which looked great.
But hello, Days Gone remaster. Hello.
James isn't here, so we don't have to talk about it.
It is getting funny now that Sony are just like, right, what can we just fucking remaster? Just have a look down the back. That only come out last week. Just get it remastered, mate. Start now.
More pixels. Get it out.
I mean, all bets are off after doing Last of Us Part 2. But I mean, this definitely has fans. But I don't know. Obviously, like Sony Bend. I mean, what are Sony Bend even like doing? I thought like things are. I think they lose a lot of staff or games got cancelled. So. Interested, but hey, why not get another game? I was actually looking after we mentioned about the fact there's like barely any first party games. It was February last year, February 2024, where there's a statement from Sony saying no new first party games can come out between now and March 2025. So,
but hold on, but they did though. They brought Astrobot out.
Yeah, I think the quote is something about major IPs, so like implying major sequels, but then also we're getting
shade on Astrobot.
We're also getting Yotai out.
Astrobot was massive, isn't it? Yeah, well, no, I don't. I think Sony were wrong there. About that.
They forgot.
They forgot.
But we're going to release Astrobot. They won't remember.
There was a new Pixel Junk game. So this is the very loose series from Q Games, and this is called Dreams of Another, and this was all about you've got a gun but it creates things.
Yeah, I mean,
instead of destroying it. This looked really interesting.
It did look
graphically
really cool.
As well. Yeah, I love the look.
100% a Peter Molyneux tweet. It looked really good though. Looked really good stylistically. It looked fantastic, and if this is a nice tight 5 to 10 hour experience, I could see this being really good. It gave it off not the same vibes in looks or feel, but it gave me a lot of sort of unfinished Swan vibes, that level of game. Something with a neat idea that looks like it's going to be able to live up to the initial premise. So I'm really hopeful that this turns out to be as good as it looked from the trailer.
Yeah, and once again, I love that kind of pixelated kind of 16 or 32-bit, well, probably like 32-bit kind of graphic style.
Like a voxel look.
Yeah, this is slightly adapted to the other ones we've seen recently with typically like third-person PS1 Saturn-style graphic like horror games. But yeah, this looks really interesting, and also it came out on PSVR 2, so PSVR 2 got a mention.
Well, this is it. PSVR 2 got a few mentions, didn't it?
There
was a few games.
The Midnight Walk, which is the terrifying looking stop motion game. So
Wallace and Gromit meets it's Wallace and Gromit meets add something really creepy.
The Twisted Mind of Tim Burton.
That's I mean, I'm not going to play that game. It's too scary.
Far too scary. James is up for it though.
Of course he is.
Apparently. He doesn't fear anything, does he? He's immune.
Rock hard, that boy. Rock hard.
The only thing he fears is appearing on this very podcast.
Good point. Anything else of note?
I wasn't going to bring anything else up unless anyone else wanted to mention.
Oh, did you already talk about that? What's it one then? The Dynasty Warriors thing?
What Warriors are best? Well, I was going to bring it up in what we've been playing.
Oh, right, you've been playing it. Okay, well, we'll save it for that.
I
then.
will say, like the trailer for that new Supermassive Games game the trailer looked excellent. I'm not saying whether the game's gonna be excellent, and I mean, just judging by what James has said and reviews, the last few games haven't exactly whelmed people. But the trailer looked fantastic in terms of sci-fi. It's set in space. It's like it's like some horror elements. It's got a lot of things that I like. I think the trailer looked excellent.
Yeah.
Whether the game's gonna be that good, who knows? But
James
certainly
can be a
interested in
bit
that more than I have in other games.
Yeah, James can be a bit like he does not give. You thought he'd have learned when he played that Silent Hill remake or whatever it was called, that actually you can't just go, this is gonna be shit, just based on their previous games. And yeah, you can go, actually, I don't tend to like their games. But that trailer looks decent. Well, regardless of I think that's what sticks out for me. Regardless of whether the game's gonna end up being good or not, the trailer looked pretty well written. It looked pretty well thought out, and the concept was good. I think it was a good showing. Yeah, it was slightly ruined by him in my ear going, this'll be shit, over and over again. It's like, well, give it a fucking chance. At least they've got the trailer looking good. And then he said, well, no, their trailers always look good. No, they don't. The trailers for the other games they had out looked absolutely dreadful. So we sort of we had a bit of an argument about that on stream, didn't we? But there you go.
But no, that's good.
Okay, that was the state of play.
Was the state of play?
I thought overall that was good, or fine. Good. I'll say 7 out of 10 because there's just things that pique my interest. No absolute bangers and no stunning kind of huge. Although Housemarque is that first party now?
Yeah, they bought them, didn't they?
Yeah, so that is their first party release. But there wasn't like a huge sequel to these like massive Sony franchises there've been in the past. But I thought it was still a good showing. I'd say. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it's rubbish. There's plenty to get your teeth into.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was rubbish, but there was nothing there that made me go, fuck yeah, this year in PlayStation's going to be off the fucking chain.
No,
I don't know.
I mean, do you think we're going to get that? We will get it, hopefully, at some point. But obviously, it's been a while since we've had that kind of holy... When was the last big holy shit?
What was the next Sony Sony first party game that you're looking forward to?
Well, nothing that's been announced because I haven't really announced anything for ages.
That's a problem.
No, it is. Yeah, I'm not denying that.
Astrobot, but also, yes, listeners, I'm fully aware for some reason I say Astrobot instead of Astrobot. Like, I don't know why I do it. It annoys me as much as it annoys you. Because after I say Astrobot, I go, fuck off, David, you fucking idiot. In my head.
I don't know if you're doing that, but...
Astrobot, you got to hear it. Oh, Matt's gone.
I'm still here.
Okay.
Oh, hang on.
Should we stop for a sec?
Or do you want to just carry on?
I'm still here. It's just my camera.
Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait, no, cut that because I shouldn't have fucking mentioned it. To be fair, we had a rule that we weren't going to mention that stuff. Hold on. Yeah, no, I do say it like that, and every time it annoys me more than anything else. But yeah, now I go, right, what's the next big Sony thing? And I go, oh, I don't know what it is, and that's kind of weird because this is supposed to be in the prime of the generation, isn't it?
Well, I guess it's it's this new game from Eternal, the new Housemarque game. It is Ghost of Yotai.
But they're not anytime soon, though, are they? Ghost of Yotai is 2025. There's no date coming up.
This is 2026. The new Housemarque game.
The Housemarque game's next year. So it's I
fully agree. Sony needs to lay out their stall, but it's been a while. The fact it was last February when I said no major sequels, no major IPs. I mean, obviously,
also, the fact that they sold a £700 console towards the end of last year.
And the £225 pads and.
Headphones. This isn't really related, but Spider-Man 2 is finally out on PC, and apparently it's a dreadful port. Which is a huge shame because the last two were spot on. Like, I played most of Miles Morales on the Steam Deck. It was so well optimized. It's fucking great.
That's such a shame.
Apparently, it's got mixed reviews on Steam because everyone's like, it's a great game, but it's fucked. So hopefully they'll sort that out. But,
I know if James was here and maybe listeners as well saying, well, no, all the live service stuff, and they had them, they cancelled them, and blah blah blah. But I think they've got enough studios. I mean, we know Naughty Dog. We know what they're working on. They're working on this new sci-fi game. We don't know what Sony Santa Monica are doing up post God of War or the next God of War. And it's those kinds of, Team Asobi just on Astrobot. So, yeah, I would love them to lay out the store and say, yeah, we've got these games, this game, that game. But I don't know. But with all the upheaval that's happened, maybe due to this live service games they have or haven't cancelled or whatever they're doing, it's clearly delays some stuff. It's a shame.
But
also, they don't have to do
anything
anything because the opposition's Xbox.
Sure, but for that to be the case, Sony would have at some point gone, right, we're dropping all development and focusing everything on live service. And as much as James want to shout that that's what they did, there's no way that they did that. That makes absolutely no sense that they dropped all fucking production and focused on live service shit. There's just no way. And
I
then
don't
for
think
them
they
to
did
go,
that.
we know, drop it again.
No
chance.
We know Naughty Dog are working on the Last of Us multiplayer game that's got cancelled. We're now seeing what they're working on after that. God of War Ragnarok was a couple of years ago, so maybe we're a year or two away from seeing their next game. So, I mean, yeah, we've seen a bunch of cancelled games, but we are getting stuff gradually through. But I don't know, it just feels slow. But also, like I was just saying, they also don't need to kill themselves to get all this stuff out because there is no real opposition in terms of Xbox. If Xbox are a real genuine competitor, I know Switch is there, but different competitor. If Xbox is a real genuine competitor, then maybe they'll be doing things a little bit different, but they don't have to.
Well, it's been a really fallow period for the Switch as well now, isn't it? That console feels long dead at this point. And obviously it isn't. It still sells loads and the games are still selling a ton. But it does feel like we've not seen anything from Nintendo for a while. And I cannot believe we have to wait another month and a half before we hear what's coming out around the Switch 2. It's crazy, right? That is nuts that we're having to wait that long for bloody more Switch information. But...
Well, that's why I genuinely do think they brought that showing forward because they're sick of the leaks. And just like put because, this is kind of mad that we're going to wait 2 or 3 months from announcement to seeing some games, but that's why I really think they brought that forward. But
I really don't think they brought it forward. I really don't. I think there's been leaks all the way through last year as well. They didn't bring any forward then, did they? I think it's that's not. I don't think.
Yeah,
that's
but there's reasons not to like because to get in the way of their Christmas sales. But if you're going to bring it forward, I mean, we don't know because we don't know timelines. But if you're going to do it, then doing it in January, February, whatever, makes more sense than doing it last year where it's going to affect. And they want Switch to, I'm not sure it can beat PS2 sales, or maybe it's beating PS2, but they want it to sell as much as they can. Doing it pre-Christmas when it made sense. I just feel like that's the reason why I got this massive gap.
Okay.
Month and a half to go.
Next story.
Month and a half to go. Yes, please.
Alan Wake 2 is now in profit. It's only taken about a year.
That is genuinely great news because it deserves it.
Yeah,
it's a great game.
Because it always worried me a bit that they were quite open about the fact that Alan Wake 2, clearly a brilliant game, I imagine. That had not made money, which I mean, people blamed it on a number of factors. It got a physical console release in the end, right? I think that's what happened, or it's getting one.
In the end, but obviously it didn't launch physically. Also was like a Epic Games Store exclusive as well,
which is insane. I mean, hopefully they got a lot of money from Epic to do that. But yeah, not having any visibility on Steam is a problem. But yeah, as per their last financial report, it's past 2 million sales and has made money, and they'll now start actually getting some royalties from it. So that's nice, good. Because as I say, I played sort of 5-10 hours of Alan Wake 2. I did really enjoy it. It's very spooky though, which makes it difficult for me to persevere with it. But I want to see that team continue to make stuff. Like I ended up really liking Control. I think that why is my fucking sorry, Matt's camera's gone off and now my light's gone off as well. What's going on?
It's okay. We're not going to mention
this is an absolute shambles.
I don't know what's happening with my camera.
Let's hold off for a bit. Let's gather our. Where at? What's going on? Is it your camera? You're not doing that on purpose, Matt.
No, I'm not. It's just my camera keeps going off. I mean, it's obviously got a permanent battery pack, and I don't know.
What's happened to you, Sean?
Just my light went off. Got a new light a few weeks because my ring light was like falling apart. I kept having to like put blue tack on it to stop it, the whole thing just falling over.
Yeah.
So I got a new one.
Lighting.
Just turned off.
It's just turned off.
Yeah, it's back
Well,
on.
it won't turn back on.
No, it's back on now.
Oh, it
Did you
is
not
back
see
on.
it when it turned off? I was just like,
Yeah, I saw it.
in
Yeah, I
darkness.
saw it. Yeah, it's like this. Oh, actually, I've still got. Do you have all your lights off in your house then when you have that on?
No, it's just I have like one quite bright light, and then the exposure on the camera is set quite low.
Right.
So. Who's editing this week?
I cannot edit this week. I'm
It
afraid.
says my camera's too hot, which kind of
It's
doesn't
gone
make sense.
again.
That might be the
Guess
issue
it
with
was
my
on.
light as well. It's turned off again.
Okay.
Um,
You should have got the Elgato, mate.
I should have, yeah. Well, I've used this for the last few weeks and it's been fine, so I don't know what its problem is. Now, give me a sec. Hang on.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, my camera says it's too hot, which is
See how
annoying.
bad it is at the moment behind me. Look, still dreadful.
Oh my god.
Still dreadful. Still doing my nut.
Yeah, I think my camera might go off again. I mean, if it's too hot now, it's going to be hotter as we
What
record for
happens in
longer.
it? Don't worry about it. I mean,
Yeah, who cares? No one needs to see my face anyway. It's all good.
hello, YouTube.
Hey!
Hello, you watching on YouTube? You're getting this little secret bit of us all panicking. Everything's going wrong.
Panicking Skywalker, we're fine. We're fine. I guess
Not with
I mean, I
panicking
should.
Skywalker, we're not fine. You're
I
off the
guess maybe I
fucking
should
show,
turn.
boy.
I didn't turn off after work, and then maybe. Oops. I guess it has been on for 12 and a half hours. Oops. Probably why.
Hello.
Hello.
You're well out.
It wasn't charging. It's battery powered, but obviously I just leave the USB lead in it most of the time. For
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
reason, it was like, nah.
I think mine will go off again, so just don't mention it, and I'll just turn it back on and off again.
Aw,
But it's going
man.
to do it.
Cool.
My Google account is being deleted.
You what now?
Yeah, what?
My Dark Calls Pod
Oh.
Google account is being deleted.
I know.
Fucking hell.
All those emails. Log in, check your emails now.
Yep. Right. Are we ready? Where were we?
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake, sorry, yeah. What did I say? Oh, yeah, I said about wanting the team to succeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, so they've got a lot on, weirdly, because I don't think they're a massive studio, but yeah, Control
What do
2
you mean they
is
got a lot
entering-
on? You know, one of them's got they do Pilates. They do. There's one of them's got tickets to a Michael McIntyre show.
They all play squash on Thursdays.
Paddle. They're into paddle. Yeah.
No, they
It's a
so Control
paddleball.
2 is going into full production. They've got the remakes of Max Payne 1 and 2. They've also
Yes.
got the FBC, the Firebreak, the multiplayer one.
I wonder how they come out, the remakes of Max Payne 1 and 2, and whether they're actually going to just recreate those games or turn them more
I'm excited
into
for them because I love the first one. Don't
second was
think I
good
played the second one, but the first one was so good on PC
Yeah.
when I played it.
Yep.
But what I'm happy about this the most is that, Alan Wake is quite an experimental game in a lot of aspects, and I'm glad it's made profit. I mean, it's and I think they probably will learn a lot. The next ones they release probably won't go digital only.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Probably won't do Epic Games or exclusive either, and just get out as many people as possible, and to Steam, etc. But yeah, I'm just glad it's made some money, and it hopefully shows
But
that
that's,
some
I mean,
people do like
again,
that stuff.
that's one of these things that you go, because there was a news article about how Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 started turning a profit within the first week of release.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sold in millions, and I think they've already announced today, yesterday, sold 2 million now within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy,
makers
isn't it?
take it a year to reach the same.
Yeah, that's
sales.
crazy, isn't it?
It's mad.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would have said that. I mean, again, this is just us being in our bubble. I would have said
100%.
that Alan Wake 2 had
And
the same amount of buzz. Like,
Well, I would have thought that would have had a wider appeal, Alan Wake 2, like a sort of a spooky game based on the paranormal over a very quite po-faced medieval time.
it's not po-faced, though, is it? It's
RPG.
funny, and that goes
It's
a long way.
really funny,
I think, like,
actually.
because it's funny in the dialogue and the events and stuff, but I think also procedurally, or just like emergent stuff happening. I think it's probably lends itself to like social clips quite well.
We need to talk about that mission. I think we need to talk about that mission, but we'll give a spoiler warning. But yeah, we need to talk about that mission, man. Okay.
Last news story, which I have not read. I think it was Louis P gave us this just before we started the show. So Rockstar is reportedly planning for GTA 6 to have a Roblox/Fortnite style user generated content system, which, we were saying this before we started the show, kind of makes sense. Well, obviously it makes sense, right? I don't think it's necessarily what a lot of people want from Grand Theft Auto, but the user created stuff in GTA Online has been a thing. I don't know how extensive it is. I don't think you can like build, like the city or anything, but you can create your own.
They've always toyed with this idea. They've always toyed with this idea. Like you could create your own races in GTA 4.
Could you do
think
it in 4
GTA
as
4
well?
had
I can't remember,
GTA 4 had online, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think do you remember the sort of not the street races, like you dropped into a map somewhere and you had to get to a certain point. Pretty sure they were customizable and stuff like that.
I remember, and this wasn't, I remember this not being like supported at the time, but we came up with a game mode that was basically we all got dropped in the city and we all had our like name tag things turned off and we had like randomized appearance and we had to find and kill each other. But like we weren't allowed to just start shooting at civilians.
Yeah.
And that was sick because after about 5 minutes of us all just kind of walking around trying to look like NPCs,
blend in.
Well, one of us was like, "Oh yeah, we've got the mobile phones. We can call each other," because we had my voice chat off, and it was great, really good fun.
So, for those of you that haven't played Roblox and Fortnite, and I'm assuming there's a lot that haven't played it recently, anyway. That's not essentially what we're talking about. Like we're talking about game modes there, but what Roblox and Fortnite are doing is something completely wildly different. It's crazy. You load up that game now, and a lot of the kids are playing. A lot of the kids, they're playing these like red versus blue on Fortnite. Seems to be very popular, where you're in just a very basic box. Like you're not even in like a map. You're just in this like box, and there's loads of modifications you can make and power ups, and you can go invisible or have aim bots on and stuff. And they're all promoted by their favorite YouTubers and stuff. Like if you watch a YouTuber who's into Fortnite, they'll go, "Please go and use my server or my game that I've set up. Here's the code on the screen." So Harry then writes down that code and then puts it into the game, and then suddenly he's in that YouTuber's game mode. There's got to be big business behind that. I'm sure there's some sort of incentive for YouTubers to set this stuff up and get as many people playing on them as possible. So the fact that Grand Theft Auto will be looking at this route is not a surprise to me, because not only is it what everyone's doing at the moment, and GTA will have the audience to be able to pull this off, but also you are getting people playing your game and you're not creating the content for it, the vast amount of content for it. That is as like, I mean, their eyes must light up when they're doing what? They're creating shit for our game and people are like loving it. Okay, fine.
Yeah, they're creating it and promoting it for us. This is
it's wild, isn't it? But it is crazy when you load up Fortnite now and it's just a huge amount of tiles on your screen, and like obviously at the top you've got Fortnite Battle Royale, which is the one that most people are playing. But you look at some of the mods lower down and you just think, wow, there's still like 50,000 people playing this right now. This one thing that has nothing to do with what traditional Fortnite.
Got escape rooms.
And Fortnite taking a lot of stuff from Roblox. Like Roblox is obviously massive, as is a Fortnite. But even Fortnite are like, well, hang on, what can we learn or adapt to make work in Fortnite? And it makes total sense that a game. And you're totally right what you just said today about the audience. Like very few games will have the audience or the brand appeal, shall we say, to do this. But GTA absolutely does. And it makes total sense with like the sandbox they're creating, with the cities, with the systems they've already got. They've all experimented. This makes total sense. Like the game that Sean mentioned playing with his mates. Like you can just create that and get other people to play it. And other games will probably be recreated in GTA 6. It makes total sense.
perfect example of that is what made us all download Minecraft recently. Is to play the come
Come
dine
mine
with
with
me,
Mine with me, yeah.
mod. You know, it's I can see that happening a lot with GTA, where it's like something comes up and it's really popular, but it's just in the GTA engine. And I think this is also, I think this is going to be a way of getting roleplay servers into GTA without them putting too much effort into it. I mean, because GTA roleplay is huge.
Yeah.
So to get that onto consoles would be a big deal for them, I think.
Well, this
Well,
is
it says here in this piece about the fact that Rockstar in 2023 acquired
yes.
CFX.RE, which is it's a group behind some of GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2's most popular modding tools.
Yep.
In roleplay, the roleplay developers. So the fact they acquire them, to get into the game says a lot.
Yeah, because remember we talked about that at the time, and I was saying it's actually nice to see, big company go like, "Oh, you're making cool tools for our game. Would you like a job?" Rather than fucking shutting it down.
Shutting them down, yeah.
And then recreating it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
That's it.
That's it for the news, is it?
Please.
Right, well, there's been a big game released this week, so as we always do, we will lead with that. And Sean has been playing Avowed.
Hello.
Sean, firstly, what is Avowed, and why should I give a shit?
Well, you shouldn't, because it's fantasy RPG, Dave. So
then I'll see you in about
you
50 minutes, baby.
Avowed it's a new game from Obsidian. So it's out officially tomorrow or yesterday if you're listening to the podcast. But it's the usual, you can pay for the early access, which I did because I'm a mug. But it's also to provide capital C content for you guys.
You'd have thought you learnt your lesson though, because what games have you done that with? To be fair, you did it with Forza Horizon.
Did it Forza Horizon, which was absolutely fine.
Worth it.
I've done it with Starfield, which was a mistake.
Yep.
I've done it with Indiana Jones, which was fine, and I've done it with this, which has also been fine.
Okay, all right. So you've got a good hit record with this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
like Indiana
fine.
Jones was like, I did that because it was like 20 quid on CD keys or whatever it was. Like, was this also another?
This was like £18 on CD keys.
Oh, okay.
So, so it sounds like I was
lot of promotion.
So actually, it was £19.99.
If I wasn't aware speaking, I probably would have done the same thing, honestly. So, like, unfortunately, they have a market, and the market is me and Sean.
Yeah.
And other people.
That annoys me. That annoys me. Because you were saying that you were playing, you didn't play Kingdom Come this week because you wanted to finish Citizen Sleeper, but at the same time you're thinking, well, if I was about this weekend, I would have bought this one early anyway. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, I mean, would I or not? Who knows? I'll still, Citizen Sleeper was the main focus. That's done now.
No, I know you would have.
Put a pod in it.
Yeah.
So this is Obsidian doing a sort of Elder Scrolls style sort of first or third person fantasy RPG in the same way that the Outer Worlds was like a bit Fallout but in space. This is sort of Bethesda style RPG, but it's set in the world. It's the Pillars of Eternity world. So Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 came out a few years back now, but again they were Obsidian developed games, but they were more sort of top down, sort of traditional RPGs. They're very sort of combat focused, I believe. I never played them, and I've always assumed I should have, because I do like Obsidian games quite a lot. So yeah, this is one of Xbox's big hitters for the year, or so they are hoping. I must be about 3 or 4 hours in. The setting is that you are a godlike, which sounds really cool, but basically doesn't appear to do all that much. And basically, when you were in the womb, you were touched by a god and given these sort of strange qualities, which, as far as I can tell, basically just means you have stuff growing out of your head and face. When you recreate your character, there's like all these options for your sort of godlike attributes, and they all look weird. There's not really any way of making them look cool. There's an option to just like not show them, but it specifically says like, for the sake of the story, people are still going to treat you as if you look weird, just so you know. So there's not really any avoiding it. I've got like big sort of bits of wood growing out the top of my head. You can have like coral or mushrooms coming out of your face. like I said, none of them really look. There's not one you'll look at and be like, oh yeah, that looks sick. Actually, they're all sort of ridiculous, which I guess is the point. So yeah, fairly standard stuff. You make your character, you choose like a couple of background attributes, but basically whatever you choose, you are the Emperor's envoy, and you've been sent to this island called the Living Lands, where basically it's this place that's like super dangerous, like everything there can kill you, but people are sort of attempting to colonize it, right? People have like a lot of people who feel that they are outcasts from other parts of the world for whatever reason have sort of settled there, but now the empire that you sort of work for is also trying to get a foothold there, and a lot of the people already there sort of resent that. They see you as a big sort of colonialist sort of force, so you're not entirely welcome, which is interesting, right? It's not really developed much yet, but as I say, it's early days, and I trust Obsidian to, like, if they're going to include themes like that, they're going to do something with it. So keen to see where that goes. But basically, yeah, you've been sent because there's this thing called the Dream Scourge, which is like a weird sort of fungus that's driving people mad and making them kill each other, which is, bad. And that's,
Thanks for explaining that. Look, I know I don't like fantasy stuff, Sean, but I think I had that.
Dave listening to, it makes people kill each other. That's just imagine that's just the sort of thing they do in
yeah,
Lord of the
those
Rings
games.
or
yeah, and the town cheered.
But yeah, so far it's been a lot of running around, getting quests, fighting baddies, upgrading my character, getting new gear, all the good stuff. What I'm really impressed by is that the combat is slick as fuck, and I really wasn't expecting that. I know because there'd been a trailer or one of the Xbox presentations, whatever. Which was it? Maybe I think it was maybe last summer, and they showed it off, and everyone's like, "Combat looks really shit." I hope
It looks
they
very
do
ropey, didn't it?
Yeah, and there was a lot of feedback about the combat looking rough, and they sort of went, "Yeah, we know. Like we're really that's what we're focusing on now at this point in development." So fine. Yeah, it's really good. It feels a lot like a Dishonored or in that you can basically equip more or less whatever you want in each hand. So you can have a spell book in one hand and a sword in the other, or sword and shield, or whatever. And it's just it's like I've only played in first person. You can play it in third person as well. But like the extent to which you are immediately just like dashing around, dodging, blocking, countering, like you can have like two sort of weapon setups. So I have like a sword and shield, and then I can swap that out for a spell book and a wand. And and I've been really surprised because when I first set up my character, I was like, well, I want to be a sort of fighter / rogue. Like I want to be quick and I just want to run around slashing people. But after a couple of hours, I'm like, no, I want to be a fucking wizard, man. This is really good fun. Like, it's the fact that it does this really cool thing where you are. So you equip a wand and then you learn spells as you level up, right? Which is fairly standard. But then you also get these, they call them grimoires, essentially spell books that you can put in your offhand. And so essentially you'll get one early on that's like, right, this is a spell book. It's got 4 spells in it. And then so you can immediately access those and trigger them as many times as you want, as long as you've got mana, or whatever they call it. What's cool is as you then learn spells, casting that same spell from the book will increase the level of it by 1. So it's still worth having the book in one hand if you want. And it just gives you like a little toolkit to be like, right, this is what the magic's about. This is some of the cool shit you're gonna be able to do once you like really started leveling up. So straight away you blasting people with fire, throwing lightning or ice or whatever, shielding yourself, stuff like that. But it's not, so many games where you like RPGs where you're a spellcaster or whatever, there's a lot of standing around and just shooting at people. Whereas this is like you are still dodging around and watching for attacks and sort of watching the lay of the land. Like, right, shit, there's 2 enemies there, there's one here. I need to try and keep an eye on all of them. Oh shit, there's 3 enemies together. I can use the lightning and that'll chain between them and then they'll all die and that'll be brilliant. Stuff like that just still feels like a really cool action game. And
switching between those two kind of styles, is that like a simple like kind of hotkey?
It's a button press. So yeah, if I've done a bit of magic stuff and I'm like, oh shit, I've got no magic potions left or whatever, I can just switch to the sword and shield and then it's a melee combat game. It's really good fun. And so as I say, story wise, it's not really picked up for me yet. Like I was saying before, like in sort of being torn between this and Kingdom Come Deliverance, the main thing is like I really want to see what happens next in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Right.
Whereas this is story's still gathering speed, which is fine. It's early days. But normally the thing with Obsidian games quite often is like, oh, the writing's really solid, but gameplay wise, you can expect them to be a little bit wonky. Whereas this is like, no, it feels great. There's like, I wouldn't call it, it's not Assassin's Creed in terms of the traversal, right? But there is a lot of running and jumping around, which again feels good. A lot of like jumping, like grabbing ledges and sprinting around and stuff. Figuring out, there's like cool bits in the city. There are situations where you're like, right, I need to get to the top of that tower. How do I do it? And you're looking for ways like, oh, right, shit, there's like some scaffolding I can get up there and then jump across to this bit and then go around and just brief little bits like that are really fun to work out. So yeah, early impressions really positive.
What do you make of it visually? Because I got to be honest, I saw the the trailers and stuff. It sort of looked a little bit Sea of Thieves, which in itself can look incredible at times. But I didn't expect Avowed to be so stylized. Really, I thought it was going to be a little bit
colourful, which is nice because there are so many. Dungeons in fantasy RPGs tend to be quite dark, whereas this, it feels like they constantly find excuses to make sure there's like shafts of sunlight coming through everywhere and there's big bright crystals and shit, and God, there's like all sort of visual effects going off all over the place. I think it looks really nice. Like it's really colourful and vibrant, but without being that sort of Blizzard World of Warcraft sort of, everything looks a bit chunky and sort of gone off in recent years. I'm well impressed. I mean, like I say, Dave, I know you hate fantasy stuff, and certainly
I do.
Probably you don't need to bin off Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 for this.
No, I won't be.
But broadly speaking, it's a firm recommendation from me so far.
Cool. Well, speaking of which, should we get to Kingdom Come Deliverance? Because, as I said, I haven't played as much as I wanted to. I was hoping that my portal would work. In the hotel I was in, it did not. It did not. It's interesting though, because we'd spoken about how the portal doesn't have a browser, and I said, well, how does it connect then? Well, it just throws up a QR code and then you do it through your phone, which makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. But it still didn't work. I think they probably have blocks on stuff like that to stop you completely destroying the internet for everyone else on the resort. So I didn't get much Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 time in. I did, however, complete 2 major missions that follows where I was up to. So it's clear now that the opening 10 to 15 hours is very much you are scraping through by the skin of your teeth with everything you do, to then actually things not becoming easier, certainly not easier, but there are 2 big story missions there, isn't there? One I thought was one of my favourite things I've played in a recent single player game, followed by one of the most frustrating experiences I've had in a single player game. I just don't. I mean, we won't go into details, but that frustration for those of you that have played it is the mission in the castle that follows the wedding mission that we'd already spoken about, and I just thought it was one of those frustrating situations where I could be wrong, but this is what I think it was. I was playing through it and I was like, I think there are several ways to do this, and I think I've thought of a really cool way of doing it, so I'm going to try and do that. And as it was getting closer to the climax of that mission, I'm going, oh, it's not. That seems to be not
pretty much
the
just
case.
One thing you have to do,
and
right?
I think it is just one thing that you have to do, and that really pissed me off. And I was like, oh, I thought there was going to be loads of ways of doing this mission. And also, like, it's really strange how so many characters in that area are like, hey, there's an axe. You need an axe? Can you get me an axe? Oh, you've made an axe. You can make an axe here. Oh, can you pass me that axe? And I'm like, oh, right, okay, I'm gonna do something with this axe, and you don't. I'm like, oh, right, okay, that's fucking weird. I don't know. That whole area was not very good. However, I mean, I want to talk about the wedding mission. And I know that we've got people that are listening that certainly haven't got that far or don't want to know about the wedding mission. So please just fast forward about 10 minutes. Because I've got Sean, the wedding mission was fucking brilliant. I loved every minute of it. There was one aspect of it that I thought it was building up to, and I was slightly disappointed that it didn't. it didn't really come to anything. But for the vast majority, so for those of you that haven't played it or won't play it or want to know more about this, the whole opening area, you're going from town to town doing little missions and talking to people and all this, and it all builds up to attending this wedding because you want to speak to someone important, a lord or something, I can't remember. And the rumours were that this person was going to show up at the wedding. You get to this wedding, it's inside, it's closed off area. Once you're in, and the wedding lasts all day, and there's all sorts of bits going on, and some of the stuff is just fucking hilarious. Like there's a guy trying to talk to a lady, and you sort of step in, and if you step in for the rest of the mission, he called me the C word about 400 times. He just walked past me and have just say something really nasty to me as he walked past and stuff. You're also tasked with there's a character who's clearly an alcoholic, and you're constantly trying to, I don't know how insensitive this is really, but you spend the whole wedding trying to stop them from drinking. But the problem was,
it's tricky, isn't it? Because on the one hand, it's clearly treated as a good thing. You are helping him not drink at a wedding, which is obviously going to be a really difficult event for someone who's recently, an alcoholic who's recently, stopped drinking. Like, that makes sense, but it's also sort of played for laughs.
There's loads of plays for laugh. Yeah. Like you see him around the corner drinking and stuff like that, and you're like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And you get the choice to say, it's only a wedding. You can have a drink or just go naughty, like. But I thought it was building up to everything trying to get you drunk, because
there's so
everything
many,
everything
that happens, someone will be like, "Oh, let's drink to it."
Yeah, and then every time you say no, you got to the guy, look, you're not allowed to have a drink. It then cuts, and then Henry's chugging a beer in front of him, and it's like, what the fuck?
And it's kind of, and I don't know if this is a historical accuracy thing or what, but I've turned down drinks a few times, various other places in the game, and it's very clearly considered fucking rude.
Right. Right. But the one bit that had me on the floor, I thought it was so funny. And again, if you don't want spoilers, definitely don't listen to this bit. But when you walk past a lady, like an elderly lady, and she goes, excuse me, sir, can you help me? And you talk to her, and she's like, I'm just, everyone's dancing, but my daughter, she's really shy, and she won't, she hasn't got the confidence to talk to anyone, so she won't. No one's asking her to come and dance. All the forward ladies, they're getting dances with all the men, but my daughter's beautiful and she's not getting anyone coming over. And he's like, I said as Henry, I was like, don't worry, I'll dance with your daughter if that's what you want. I'll go and dance with your daughter. And you go over and you talk to her, and then you ask her to dance. And for me, I know it was more straightforward for you, but for me, she was like, no, don't want to dance. And you offer her a drink, and then her confidence builds up, and then you dance. So I'd worked on getting this girl to dance with me, and then you start. It's sort of a cutscene, but you're controlling the point of view of Henry. And I don't know who. I'd love to have been in a room where they sort of got the tone for this next bit. How far do we go with it? Because they got it absolutely right. It wasn't like oh my God, you're standing on my feet and it's hurting. It was. Henry just keeps going, you caught my foot there. I just, nope, sorry, I thought I was leading, and all this sort of stuff. And as this is happening, your health is going down. And
that's such a nice touch. That's great.
Belly laughing. I thought it was so funny. And at the end of the dance, you get to either go, oh no, that was really nice, or whatever, or you could just go, you are a dreadful dancer.
I felt awful because I tried to lie to her and say that was great, thank you, and she saw through it, and then she went off crying. I went and apologized to her, and it was all right.
I went and apologized. I was surprised she accepted my apology because I just said, you can't dance for shit. You've broken half of my toes.
Well, that's one thing that's strange about it is, when you try to lie or coerce someone, threaten them or whatever, and so then there's an invisible dice roll as to whether or not you succeeded. And sometimes you'll see Henry speak, and it's like, okay, that was pretty convincing. And then it'll turn out the person's seen through it for some reason, and then it will say,
yeah.
Whereas sometimes him failing at a speech check is him just like completely fucking up so obviously.
Really?
Like, yeah. Have you not done the one? You've not met the Cumans yet, have you?
No, I've got them on my. I
there's-
need to go to the camp to go and meet them. But yeah,
So no spoilers, but there's basically so they don't speak the same language as everyone else, right? And it turns out one of them's in love with this woman, and you're like, oh well, I'll help you talk to her. Doesn't really make any sense because you don't speak the Cumans language either. But basically you're trying to convey like compliments to this woman, and you just basically end up just negging her. It's really if you fail the speech checks, which I did, but it's a very funny bit.
I loved that whole wedding scene mainly because it was it felt like a full stop of that first act. It's loads of characters that you've met through the first like 10 hours of gameplay are there, and you're talking about things, and there's little bits and pieces to do throughout the wedding, and the wedding breaks up into sort of segments where you do enough bits and then it fades to black and it comes up with like a quote. Like, it's like weird things like the jolliness was had and more drinks were drunk and all this sort of stuff, and then it moves the story on for the
more
next bit.
Weddings in games.
We do, don't we?
Because there's one in Witcher 3 as well in one of the expansions, and that was really fucking good as well. Because again, it's obviously the setting of the Witcher 3 is so fucking miserable. So for them to just be like, look, here's this little pocket of joy, and again, it's characters you've met and stuff, and it's like, oh, everyone's just chilling out for once. Fucking hell, such a nice thing.
I had one thing that I didn't. I don't know if you had as well. So you meet up with Hans again.
Yeah.
There, right? Was his face all right on yours? Because it was absolutely beaten to shit on mine.
It's never referenced.
It wasn't referenced, was it? I think that's a bug.
I wonder if it was a bug. I also wondered if because there's people putting on fights, right? Having little fist fights in one of the barns. I wondered if maybe he'd like taken part in one of those.
Oh, and I might have just missed that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But I don't think he would have taken part in that. That's the thing, as the character. Yeah, you don't see him as that sort of character. I think that was just like the wrong facial model loads up in that part for some reason.
Because I'd said like last week, I really want to, like, I'm really intrigued as to whether or not he is at the wedding and what has happened to him in that time. So when I saw his face, I was like, haha, this is going to be the joke that like he's been absolutely fucked without me for this first chapter. But then it's never
really referenced, no. But I think, I mean, that side of it, he's fucked without you, sort of comes out later, doesn't it? But there was look, I'm on the next part of that game. I'm still loving every minute of it. I still feel like I haven't got a handle on the combat, and every story mission where it says it's two things. There's either, hey, we're going to do a horse race, and if you beat me, you'll get all this new information. Can't do it. I can't win the horse races. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And then there's also combat bits. It's like, I challenge you to a duel, and if you win, you'll get this. And I always lose those as well. So maybe you just don't need to do that. I'm going to just like not focus on it. Whereas like before, I'd be like retrying it over and over again. I think that mission with the horse that I mentioned last week has sort of taught me that actually just keep trying to plow through as best you can and just see what happens. But yeah, I mean,
it is
still,
weird 'cause, like, just sort of talking to people, people have said like, "Oh, is it any good?" And I'm like, right, the combat is dog shit. The the crafting is boring, but as a general being a medieval guy simulator, it's really interesting. Like the fact that you. Like this is what I usually mention to people to sort of say, look, this is why it's good. The amount of times where I've been like, right, I've done such and such a thing, I'm on it, I need to go to this next town because I've got this quest. And I'm like, it's like 4 p.m. I'm gonna lose the light if I travel now, so I'll go to the pub and drink and play dice until bedtime.
Sounds great.
People and
I do that all the time.
Feels good.
Yeah, it does feel good, and the fact that the humor is so good, like some of the best I've ever seen in a game. Like that clip that you sent me where you were chatting to someone and they go, "Hold on a minute, are you drunk?" And then you could even see you choose like, "No, I've not had a drink," and then you saw like you could see your brain working as you were. And then you went back to and it was like, oh, maybe a little, and then it cuts back to Henry who goes, well, maybe a little, and then he pulls out like a pint out of nowhere and like drinks it. It's just so good. I mean, Henry is some fucking character, man.
Oh, he's great. He's so likable. Even, I mean, I assume like you could play him as a bastard, right? Although technically he is a bastard, literally. But you know what I
Yeah,
mean? You could play him as a bad guy, I think.
I
But
guess, but like, he's so witty with it. Whenever he's
yeah,
being an arsehole, it almost seems like he's doing it for laughs. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, you know, he's not like viciously nasty. Like you get
Mm,
that in some RPGs
mm.
where it's like, hug them or shoot them in the head,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, well, you know,
Baldur's Gate
I'm
3 is a
looking
bit
at you,
like
Mass Effect.
that. Yeah,
Mass Effect was like that, wasn't it? When you had the blue trigger and the red trigger, which one are you going to press during this bit? It's like, okay. This does it in such a more subtle and believable way that
yeah.
it's good. I am
I
loving
really
that game
like
still. I can't wait to play more of it.
so the big bit after the castle bit, which I will not spoil. You know, I think we're out of spoiler territory now, so I'm not going to spoil this. One thing I like about this game is, you know, so many games you will be in a situation and you will spot that something is up, right?
Yes.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
You're getting weird vibes, and most games will be like, well, we'll tease it for some players who can spot it, but basically there'll be a set point in the story later on where that then comes to fruition, and in the meantime you can do nothing about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This game straight away, Henry can be like, yeah, something's fucking going on.
Yeah. I see. Because did you get the stranger like take you to one side? I thought that was quite funny as well.
Oh no, I don't know if I did.
Yeah. So there's a bit in that where you talk to this guy and he's like, "Can you follow me into the forest? I need to talk to you." And you're like, "What?"
No.
Yeah. And then I went with them and they were like, "Something's up."
Oh,
Just
okay.
let you know,
Oh, interesting.
something is up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, okay. And then he bolts it when he sees a guard who comes along and goes away. I also love the fact that you can use humour to get out of situations. So in the castle bit, I was caught by a guard trespassing and I told a joke and he was like, oh my God, I'll look the other way this time. I was like, you fuck you, now is a good one. You know, it was all that sort of stuff. I mean, yeah, fucking great game. But I can't see myself playing anything else for a while. Unfortunately, going to be terrible for the show. I mean, Sean, you're still flying the flag for TCGS, so you've got another couple of games down.
I have.
What have you got?
So I played Warriors Abyss for a little bit. This is the one that got shown at the State of Play, just completely out of nowhere as far as I can tell, because they literally, they showed it at the State of Play, and obviously it's a PlayStation show, so it's like it's available on PS4 and 5, and I was like, well, better be on something else. Maybe this is what finally gets me to buy a PS5.
Yeah.
This is it turns out it's on Xbox and Steam as well. So I've been playing this on the Steam Deck, which has been a really good fit for it, to be fair. But basically, this is Dynasty Warriors meets Hades. It's a sort of top-down, sort of run-based, randomly generated game where, you're playing as, well, it's Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors characters. I don't know any of the Samurai Warriors guys, so I've just been playing as the Dynasty Warriors lot. And it's running around fighting loads of guys and doing bosses, and you it's so weird how closely it tries to copy the Hades thing of, like, with Hades you'd be going through these levels and you would be finding, like, all right, which god do you want to, like, align with, and you'll get a new power. Whereas this is, you're aligning with other Dynasty Warriors characters and other Samurai Warriors characters, and they give you extra powers or increase your stats, new abilities, what have you. It's not as, like, with Hades, when whenever you got a new one of those, often they would quite substantially change the way you play, right? Whether it's like a different magic ability or something that happens when you dash or something like that. Whereas this is like, it gives you a bit more fire damage and some maybe a bit more speed if you're lucky. And it's never like, oh wow, this really changes the way I'm playing. But it's fine. You sort of, as you go through different floors, you like adding more. You have this like formation in your like your equipment screen or whatever, and you are putting these other characters that you've picked up. You're putting them in this formation, and they interact with each other in ways I don't really understand yet. And there's, when this, as per any Warriors game, there's a big bar that when it fills up, you press a button, and all those people you've got in your formation come out and do all big attacks and stuff, and it's very cool. It's good fun. The story is nonsense. oh, there's a bad guy has taken over hell, and all the people in hell are not happy being in hell anymore. So now you've got to fight him. But it's So like I say, there's a ton of stuff in it that I've not got my head around yet. I've only spent a couple of hours on it. But it's even though the perspective is slightly different, it's Dynasty Warriors combat. If you like that, you will like this.
That's good.
Cool things where there'll be certain units that are like named, right, and they've got a health bar, whereas as opposed to the rank and file enemies, and they'll do special attacks where it'll show. Like it'll be telegraphed, right? So if they're going to do like a charge attack, there'll be like a big purple sort of line across the screen. It's like, right, well, I've got to avoid that. Or there'll be sort of area of effect attacks where like a circle sort of lands on an area and it's like, right, in 2 seconds this is going to fucking blow up or whatever. So initially they're quite easy to dodge, but then later levels they start getting really hectic, and you're constantly sort of trying to smash the shit out of dozens of enemies whilst also finding little pockets where an attack is not about to land. Yeah, it's good fun. It was like 20. It's like 20 quid, but it's one of those where they take the piss immediately. Where it's like you can get the £20 one, or you can get a £30 one where all the ladies have Catgirl costumes, guys.
Yeah, okay.
It's like fuck off.
Worthy investment.
Yeah,
I mean,
all right. Yeah, fuck off.
So
you
what are they
said,
like?
Sean,
With
go on.
You probably unlock them through gameplay. It's fine.
It's tax deductible.
Yes,
It's true. It's
research,
basically free, isn't it?
Sean. I didn't want to. I just had to.
Yeah, it's for research. Yeah, fun game. We'll probably spend more time on it. Just with the other things that I've got competing for my attention at the moment, it's probably going to go on the back burner. But yeah, I really enjoy what I've played of it. Final one, very brief. Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. Finally had a few multiplayer sessions on it with my
Oh,
mates.
you got that working, did you?
Yeah. It's been fine, to be fair. Multiplayer stuff
Cool.
now seems to be fully working. Where that means not as many people are playing it, or they've sorted something out. I don't know. Yeah, really good. I was going on about how I was really intrigued by the way the team mode works, where you kind of all have to stick together and you can help each other up and set checkpoints and stuff. That is cool, but the straight race mode works really well as well. I wasn't sure it would. I thought it'd be like, but what happens if like one person just like blasts ahead? But actually, it's fine because you're in a voice chat with your mates and you can spectate. Once you have finished, you can spectate the other people and see how they're doing, and everyone's talking about that, like the track that you're on and the routes they've taken and things they've tried and difficulties they've had and stuff. Like, because each of them is so dense and has so many different routes to take, you're just like always chatting about like the strategies and certain difficulties you've had and stuff like that, and it's just a really nice time. So,
And
Cool.
was there any benefit of doing tricks in that mode, or are there different modes where that tricks the
in
points?
race
Do you even
modes-
get points for tricks? I don't think you do, right?
You do in team mode. I don't think you do in race mode. No, there's little medals at the end of every race where it's like fastest speed, and a couple of others, but one of them is the most tricks. So if you're having a shiter, then you can just try and get like 3 or
just
4
keep
tricks
doing
in at the end,
backflips.
and then suddenly it's like, I got a medal. See, I'm the best.
See, I'm not rubbish.
So that's been really good fun. Well worth revisiting in multiplayer if you haven't.
Yeah, I did really enjoy what I played. Have you done much of the Black Diamond tracks?
No, they're too hard. I should though, because I've now found a lot of the earlier tracks I can now do quite confidently with like 1 or 2 crashes.
Is that because you've
Yeah.
upgraded your gear or got a new gear set?
No,
Well,
I've
the
got
gear doesn't make too much of a difference, does it?
Yeah, I've got the.
Well, I know,
second,
like, when I was
well,
looking
say
at
that, the
Leaderboards,
third
they're
set
all
of
using a
skis-
certain type.
Yeah, the third set of skis you get is the RAM, and that's like really specifically geared towards exploration. So it's much better at. So I think it's really good on ice, and it's really good for like going back uphill, which was interesting when we were playing in team mode, because one of us had the RAM skis on, and they're quite a bit slower, but it meant that whenever someone crashed and we sort of accidentally zoomed past them a bit, Gary with his fucking RAM skis on, we were like, Gary, you go, because we're having too much.
He can get back on the mountain
ski
and pick you up, or however it worked.
Do what? Sorry.
What? So he can go back on the mountain to do what? Sorry.
Yeah,
What was he
so
doing?
if someone had fallen, like someone had crashed, he would head back up a little bit to pick them up, and then we'd all
Oh, that's nice.
we'd all carry on. Because it's when you're playing in team mode, you accrue points by going fast, doing stunts, and skiing sort of near to each other, but then you only cash those points in when you hit a checkpoint. If you crash and have to respawn yourself, you lose the points. But if someone else picks you up, you can still bank them. So it's really worth making sure you stick together and pick each other up when you can. Yeah, good game. Like it.
Cool. I would like to see you do a stream of one of the extremely hard courses. To be honest with you,
That'd
to
be-
see how
I mean,
frustrated you get.
Yeah, you do a lot of swearing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, bang up
Cool.
for that. That's what I'm there for. Matt.
Yeah, I played and finished Citizen Sleeper tonight.
Hey.
Citizen Sleeper 2, that is, of course.
After 3 retries, was it? 4 retries?
Well, yeah, the first one on Xbox did a couple of hours, then went to Switch, then did 10 or so hours, then started again. And in
Oh,
this,
God, was it that long when you restarted the Switch one?
well, yeah, but it was 10 hours because on the Saturday night, I did like 5 hours of it, but I was basically making minuscule progress because I had like one dice at a time, so everything was taking forever to take. And actually, in this third and now final route, I didn't really have any issues whatsoever. There was like 2 bits where I had broken dice, which I could fix straight away because I knew how it worked. But also, one bit I really think it was like it was just. I think everyone probably has that same situation where I can't remember the mission exactly, but like suddenly I come off it and it's like you got 4 broken dice, but it's just before something else happens. So I didn't mind so much. I didn't have any issues whatsoever. Didn't fail a single contract. I think because I had got my head around, how the game worked basically, and I enjoyed it much more. As I was coming towards the end, and now I've kind of finished it. Yeah, my feelings with it are quite complicated. I love the first one so much for all the reasons we spoke about, but writing obviously, mood, like the gameplay is quite unique and different for me. Love the various stories. I loved kind of navigating that one central space station and meeting the community and hearing their stories and having the various endings of the various missions. You don't get that on this because you're traveling across a bunch of different systems and there's lots of little stories, but none of them actually spoke to me in any way, shape, or form as much as the first one. Like, some of the stories in the first one, the one where you're looking after like the child or the babysitting story was just so beautifully done and really upsetting and just gorgeous narratively. It didn't really hit me in that way. Like, I will say at the absolute end, I was like, oh yeah, it was emotional, brilliant, beautiful, but I was kind of worried that early on, which I had for the previous one, and I think I said last week, I really missed just that one central location where you got to know almost every nook and cranny and all the people and how they lived on the station and the various new parts of the station you'll discover, and you don't get that this, but it was fun traveling to the various kind of places. I just feel like travel just felt a bit annoying. Like even it's like navigating the map. Like so there were a bunch of like points on the map, and you can press like you might say like 3 points you could potentially travel to in a row, but like a diagonal row. You play left, it will go to the middle one. You press left again, it will go up or down.
Yeah, it's like, a bit weird.
I don't know. I mean, I just even navigating that, I was like, for fuck's sake, I just want like to the point where I'm like left. No, it's right, up that. No. I was like doing a cheat for Sonic on the Mega Drive. It was ridiculous. But yeah, and I feel like this is going to sit with me for a lot longer. I feel like I'm maybe in 2 or 3 weeks I'll maybe have like a better view of it. But it feels like the complexity is really good and interesting, and probably the right way they would go about adapting and improving on second one. But and after my third go, yes, I get it, and I get all the systems, and that there is tension in the dice rolls, and I loved kind of upgrading my dude. But yeah, something about it didn't really hit in the same way that the first one did. I also loved in the second one all the various side missions and how they were each endings to those side missions and the various character arcs. This is just kind of one ending, but hey, it's different. That's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like everything they did was right, and it probably does improve upon the first one. The complexity is there, which makes sense. Took me a while to get through it, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not blown away like I was with the first one, but this is, I think, another one of those examples where it probably does improve on every aspect of the first one, but it just doesn't hit me in the same way. Like we've had other examples of this over the years, where the third or the second or the third in the Tomb Raider reboot series is clearly better than the first one, but I didn't love it like I loved for the first game. It didn't.
Yeah, I think when the first in the series like that is so popular and so well received, and you have such a connection with it, it's almost impossible for the follow-up to hit those highs. We look at Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and You know, Tomb Raider games, stuff like that.
Tears of the Kingdom, it is definitely better than the first one, but it didn't do anything emotionally for me. I think you can argue it does. Yeah, it does expand on everything the first one did, but for me, emotionally, it didn't really get the same thing for it. But anyway, regardless. I think it actually makes me want to play the first one again.
Well,
to see how I feel about that again.
Because there's the additional episodes they added to the first one, so you could do those.
Oh yeah, I never did that.
And then you'll see, because I won't spoil anything. Some of those characters tie in with games, so it might be cool for you to revisit that.
Yeah. I'm playing on Switch. It crashed during the credits. It crashed a couple of times, and performance was really fucking bad. In fact, I finished the game. My message Sean's like, Sean, after you play the game and go back to continue, does it go back before the ending, or did my game just fuck up? And you said you hadn't actually tried that, but anyway. I can actually go back after I now finish the game and kind of finish other missions, which is good, but also just like kind of crash during the credits. So I was like, I don't have to do it again.
Yeah, that's bullshit, man. Like that, don't release the game in that state. Like hold back the Switch version. Do you know what I mean? I had a couple of crashes. Crashes happen in games, but mostly like performance was really bad in when you're kind of going up and down the map. It's just. In fact, but what's funny is like just on that, like one of the latter areas you go is basically like a giant, it's a giant community. It's like, this feels much more like the first one, and like it was fun being in that environment. But again, even navigating that, I was like, bloody hell, just moving the cursor up and down the screen. It's like it was really dreadful performance wise. But hey, that's what we get for playing on Switch and playing portable. But really glad I played it. But it's going to take me a bit of a while to maybe like really articulate how I feel like differences are compared to the first one, but this does make me want to go back and see if that complexity was warranted or how the first one sits with me now if I play it and it's a little bit less complex. But still a great game, undoubtedly.
It is quite telling that Gareth Damian Martin has said there's no more. Well, there'll be more Citizen Sleeper, but it'll be a pen and paper thing. Like there's no more video games of Citizen Sleeper now.
Okay.
So. Which is not to say like, they knew it was not as good. Like, I mean, I'm not even saying I would agree with that, but clearly they're aware that this is
maybe they feel like they're taking it as far as it can go.
Yeah, as far as it goes, and that's fine. Like,
I was thinking like a lot towards the latter third of this game. This would be an incredible movie or book or TV show. Like the themes it's got and like the stuff it does with kind of consciousness and what is self, what is being a person, if you're a sleeper in this this android body, and it has some really interesting themes about all that stuff, which is really, really great. I'd love to see this as like a sci-fi movie, TV show, book, whatever.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, because I was thinking a lot about like playing this alongside us finishing Life is Strange Double Exposure. And like, you can't help it. Like with something like Citizen Sleeper 2, there is a part of you that's like, imagine if this had a massive budget and you could walk around the space stations and you could be like, you witness it yourself. Like how incredible that would be.
Yeah.
But then you look at something like Life is Strange Double Exposure and you think, but that the allure of that and the like having the budget to do all that stuff, how much does that end up hurting things and confusing the vision of it and actually be like, oh shit, well we've fucked this because. And by the end, the story doesn't make sense. And spoilers, do you know what I mean? Like, like how often does having that budget and that scope actually mess projects up? Whereas I think Sleeper is so low, production quality, like production value wise, is lower end, but actually benefits from that because it gives it a clarity that I think you don't always get with the bigger budget stuff.
I think as Dust Falls showed us that. What you could do with a limited budget within this sort of remit, within this area, really blew me away. Like I just saw, if Life is Strange is having budget problems, which I wouldn't be surprised.
We don't know. We don't know what the budget was for us. We don't know what Life is Strange is.
But we know that Life is Strange in terms of sales has plummeted over the past few series, and those types of games they're not being picked up on as much as that original game was. When you look at As Dust Falls, you go, I wish they'd have gone down that route rather than gone down the route they have, where they've tried to scale everything down and it just hasn't really worked. But
I really
what
hope
you
we do
can
get
on
another game from the As Dusk Falls team. Hopefully we
Don't
do.
know,
I
I'm
mean,
sure
I
we
remember
will.
winning a couple of
I'm pretty
awards.
certain
Hopefully
we
it's
will.
done enough to do it. But yeah, like if there anyone listening who has seen or read like a book or TV show that has similar kind of themes about kind of because I mean. Maybe it's like a completely unique idea or a original idea, but it's like there's so much potential for other things in the same universe or same idea about sleepers, and yeah, I love that so much. I would love to see or experience more anything like that. So if anyone's listening and they've seen something similar-ish, please let me know.
In terms of the themes, like Hardspace Shipbreaker is similar. Like you start the game and it's like, oh hey, you've got this job as a shipbreaker. We're going to sign you up to the Everwork program, which means that if you die, we can just recreate you and you can carry on. And you're like, oh, that sounds really cool. And it's like, okay, we're starting the process. P.S. This process will kill you. And like, so by the time you've got control of the character, it's like, oh fuck, I'm already a clone of me. So I'm dead, and I'm someone else that has my and you're just like, oh fucking hell, this is already doing me in. This is like, there's a lot in that, I think. But yeah, it's not on Game Pass anymore.
Yeah, but Mickey17 as well in the chat.
Yes.
Sorry, Blue Lou in the chat has mentioned Mickey17. I can't wait for that. I mean, I love Robert Patterson. Obviously, it's done by the person or team director behind Parasite as well. So, yeah, I'm really excited for Mickey17.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a movie though. So it's time for us to move on to questions because we've run out of video game chat. Right.
Oh man. If you want to contact us, send us a question. Go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS. Kurt Lewin says, first off, I want to thank everyone who attended Friday's quiz in the Discord. Looking forward to more in the future, and I enjoyed putting it together. Yeah, I'm so sorry I couldn't make it. Just obviously, you decided to hold it on Valentine's Day, which was a problem. But yeah, writing quizzes is not easy, so yeah, much appreciated.
Yeah, remember Sean had a lunch to
Yeah,
attend
lunch-
to. If I
lunch in
remember
the escape
correctly.
room. Now for my question. Obviously, it would be great to be the best in any sport and get paid a huge amount of money to do so, but which
Yes, it
sport would you least like to be the best at? For me, I think it would be darts. The atmosphere at darts is great, but I can't imagine how bored I would be having to endlessly practice every day for hours a day, doing the same movement in the same spot just to maintain my skill.
Oh my god,
What?
no!
No.
See, I play darts all the time. It's the most addictive. It's so addictive throwing the fucking darts at a dartboard. So addictive. It's brilliant. Like I can't help it. It's one of the best games to play, I think. So definitely not that. It'd be one of those sports that, like, I really like good at the hurdles or something. Like if I was like the world's best at hurdling, I'd be. It's great, you know. Don't get me wrong; that's incredibly impressive. But you ain't making a lot of money out of that.
I was going to say,
athletics in general,
It's a sport that like you genuinely enjoy it, but there's no money in it at all. But then like that's
lawn
isn't
bowls.
That, like, loads of people, like loads of
I love that.
Olympic athletes. Isn't that basically the reality of it that they pay?
Yeah. Unfortunately, athletics is not well compensated.
Yeah, and it must be really frustrating because they compete in the Olympics in front of like millions, you know, watching around the world, and then the Olympics ends, and it's like, right, okay.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like you're training for 4 years. You're training for 4 years. If you get an injury, like, and also if you are going for like, you know, athletics or anything kind of Olympic sport wise, you may have kind of like 3 Olympics in you. You know, if you get an injury, you've lost 4 years of training, and you go another 4 years where you might be too old for the bracket. Again, my answer, CJP in chat just mentioned it, but it'd be boxing or UFC, like, because I'm still getting punched in the head or bleeding or cut every single weekend. Doesn't matter how much
you're
I'm
also
paid.
being a multiple. You create the amount of money.
Yeah, but I mean, in this question, if I get paid to do any sport, that would be the one I would least want to do because I'll be getting like punched in the head every week. Well, where's the least?
They don't fight every week. It's not
every
week.
month, whatever
It's
it is,
huge.
you know.
It's not dressage.
Yeah, there you go.
Dressage is dangerous, I guess, if the horse falls on you. But I don't want to be punched in the head and
also,
getting like, you
everyone
know,
will think
brain
you're an
injuries.
Absolute ponce.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Yeah, no, boxing or UFC or something, I'm going to get hurt every time. No way. Even sparring, you'll probably get hurt. Like,
yeah.
You know, the risk of brain injury, it's just too much. Whereas football, hell yeah. Or, you know, darts or anything like that. Anything else. Snooker, pool, you know, lovely old job.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what to say about that.
I don't really want to get like a brain injury young if you're getting punched in the head all the time.
Okay.
Oh no, you like NFL's another issue.
Yeah,
Another risk, isn't it?
NFL. Yeah, like I gather that retiring from NFL is one of the worst things you can go through. There's like no support. It's like, guess what? You're not eating 8,000 calories a day anymore.
And also, and all the studies about again the constant kind of head injuries. Like,
Well, this is what's really interesting actually. What's going on in children's football at the moment is that so they're phasing in. This was announced last year. The FA are phasing in. Removing heading from children's football, like heading the ball.
Right.
So, there are things that mean that, if you do head the ball, the game stops and it's a drop ball now. And they're slowly bringing the age group up for what that comes into. But, the other thing is that throw-ins, which is a major part of football, they're kick-ins now at certain levels, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so funny having this conversation with people who, a lot of football fans are traditionalists, and the idea of something meddling with the game is like a really bad thing, and they don't like the FA. And it is wild how they're going, no throw-ins, no heading the ball. What a load of... okay, there is lots of scientific evidence saying that this leads to brain damage later in life, but, they are probably right, actually, aren't they? But the kick-ins, what the fuck? They're getting very heavily
Is no
injured.
throw-ins happening to avoid the risk of heading? Like, what's the...
Yes.
Is that... Yeah,
right. Yeah. Because when you throw the ball in, you're 9 times more likely to head the ball, aren't you?
But then they could say you can chest it only. I mean, that feels...
but then you're still having the ball being thrown in the air. The natural reaction is to try and get there ahead of the thing. So the ball's played along the floor from the thing. It's really funny watching people have this mad conflict over it. It's like, that's not how the game's played, but it's saving our children's brain cells. I
wonder if in our lifetime, if that will even go to the professional men's or women's games.
I don't think it will, because the studies or the articles that I've read is that it's about the developing brain rather than once it's once you're an adult, your skull's a lot. Anyway, this has got nothing to do with video games. But what's really funny is that my son Harry was fuming because next season he's in the crossover thing, so they're allowed to head the ball and there's throw-ins in his league at the moment. But next season there won't be because they're raising the bar, and he's fuming about it because he's really good at heading the ball. Like, he's insanely good at heading the ball, and he's got a really long throw on him. So like, he's one of those long throw specialist kids, and he's like, well, that's my 2 best bits of my game is just gone now. And I'm like, I know, but we want you to be the first turner to go to university. I think you've got... And then I point at Charlie, who's running around a tree, and go, he's got no hope.
Keep on hitting the ball, boy. So he's 11, isn't he, Harry? And
he will be 11 in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so what? 12 to what age are they now?
So it's all age brackets. I don't know if this is definitely the FA thing, but the league that he's in, it's 10 to 12, I think, age group.
And then when they're 13, they go back to throwing and heading, or
no. So it's 10 to 12 is the age group, but he's 11, so he's got another season in that age group, and that's the season where that age group then has these new rules applied to it. I believe. Last time I looked into all this was at the start of last season, before I knew that I was definitely not going to do it this season. So but it's interesting, and again, it is funny because there's so much science behind it saying no, this is a positive thing to do, but for some people that's just blowing their mind at the moment. They can't handle it. It's quite funny. Sorry. Anyway,
boxing
tangent. Boxing.
Colonel Custard says, after hearing your favourite meals last week, I was wondering, what's your favourite dessert?
Easy, only one for me.
Oh, go on.
Banoffee
Chocolate
pie.
ice cream. Banoffee pie?
Fucking love
really?
banoffee pie, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, love a banoffee.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm not offended, but
mine's changing.
I predicted that.
It used to always be, what do you call it? The chocolate brownie. Oh, yeah. It used to always be hot chocolate brownie. Lovely old job. Yeah. But recently, I've been going for the old sticky toffee pudding, boys.
Oh, yeah.
How about a sticky 100%. Toffee pudding?
Mate,
that's all right,
a bit of a sticky toffee
There's
pudding.
a really good sticky toffee pudding recipe that I always use, and I may have mentioned this before because it's
Is it go
incredible.
Tesco, buy the big one and leave?
Put it in the microwave. No, it's a Nigella recipe, and basically the way it works is you do like the actual cake bit, and then basically you cover it in sugar and then like some butter, and then you just pour boiling water on it and chuck it in the oven, and it never doesn't feel weird. Like every time you
It
do
never
it's
doesn't
like,
feel
It's a
weird.
sloppy
doesn't-
Can you
dessert.
write that down? Can you write that down as an episode?
The worst part is I
Matt?
actually pause. I'm like, is
It
this
never
right?
doesn't
And
feel
then
weird.
I said it anyway, and it feels weird always. Is what I meant to say.
Can I say something controversial?
Yes.
I know what you're going to say to this, but are we allowing brownie as a dessert? I know you can have them as desserts, right? But like an apple
Yes,
pie,
we
is
are
it-
allowed
An-
brownie.
hang on, let me finish. An apple pie is like a classic dessert, right? That you always, but
Yep.
a brownie can be a snack. A brownie can be a little like 11 o'clock treat.
An
You
apple
can
pie
get
can be
brownies
a
with
snack
ice
if you
cream.
just pick it up and fist it in.
Yeah, anything.
So can
Yeah,
I-
you can.
Sorry, you can pick it up and fist it. That's another episode title.
It's very long.
In your mouth.
Oh, it's getting worse.
For fuck's sake.
Stop it, Sean.
No, yes, it is a dessert. Is the answer to that? You can have ice cream whenever you want. It's what are you talking about? People have those little apple pies from Mr. Kipling at lunchtime or whatever.
I see.
Yeah,
where
but
Matt's
an
coming
apple
from, 'cause
pie from
like
Miss Skipping
Mars
isn't a
bar-
dessert.
A Mars bar isn't a dessert. But
No.
it's sweet.
You can have it as a
yeah, but
exactly.
you wouldn't have it after your dinner. You wouldn't go.
No, but
to
it's
a
not.
meal.
You wouldn't say Mars bar. Is that
listen,
dessert? No, it's a snack.
You wouldn't go. You wouldn't go to a restaurant and look at the desserts menu and it would have Mars bar on it. It wouldn't have that.
mean,
That's the
funny
difference.
if it
But it
did.
would definitely have
And it'd be
chocolate
like
brownie on it.
£10. You'd be like, what are they doing to this? Mars bar?
Yeah.
Like what like sliced up with bits of ice cream and a bit of mint on it.
What was I going to say? Look, I like an apple pie. I do like an apple pie.
Yeah, I love it.
But if you're saying your favourite dessert, you crumble over pie every day of the week. It's not even
Apple
close.
crumble, hot apple crumble,
Yeah.
ice cream is
Yes.
unbelievably good.
Yeah, if you sit down and go, here's an apple crumble, here's an apple pie. If you're reaching for the pie, then you're a pervert because it's just the wrong answer. It's the wrong answer. The crumble's the one. All right, good.
Yeah, I love a hot pie with ice cream. It's just, oh god, so good.
I suppose you could have pie and ice cream any time of the week. Actually, was this
Yeah, but
you
you're not,
trying
but
to be like?
I wouldn't go to
hey.
Starbucks and say I was a brownie. That's a dessert. No, it's not. It's a treat. You can get them as desserts, sure.
Is a McDonald's apple pie a dessert or a snack?
It's in the dessert menu.
It's hotter than the sun.
I should say my actual answer is raspberry trifle. I could eat that forever until I die, which would take about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I do like
Is it?
trifle.
It's really good stuff. And the fact that it's like any supermarket, you can get one for about £2, and it's the most joy I can get for £2.
Yeah, value is very. Yeah, there's a lot of value in it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, I was also going to say roulade, like a roulade from M&S or somewhere,
yeah.
but they're also like £17,000.
Yeah.
But they're good.
What would be the most basic meal that you'd ever like? The most harvester style, the most. It's got to be prawn cocktail,
I love a
rump
prawn cocktail.
steak, and chocolate brownie. Right, like that is like.
No, chocolate brownie feels too artistic, like almost too. Okay,
What is your problem with chocolate brownies?
no.
You've really
Chocolate brownie
taken
feels
offence
new-
to the
new-
idea
it
of
feels
chocolate
too
brownie.
new
Too
age.
fancy.
Yeah, it feels too new age. A chocolate brownie, like where's we're talking basic
It
ice
feels
cream.
too new age.
Yes,
What the
like if
fuck are
we're
you
saying like
talking
what is
about?
the most basic kind of meal in that vein? Okay, classic prawn cocktail, a classic steak. It would be like an apple pie and ice cream or something that's been here forever. Whereas a brownie
but-
feels too modern.
I just don't think you've noticed brownies have been on the menu for.
No, of
since
course I
was
have. I'm
a
not a
kid.
fucking idiot.
Well, you sound it.
I think. Look, I just think that it. I don't think that's a dessert. You can get them on the dessert menu, sure, but that's a snack which is on the dessert
It's
menu.
a food item that can be served as a snack or a proper
Yes,
dessert.
I wouldn't go to
Right.
the dessert aisle and expect to see brownies.
But the same is for apple pie.
But that's more of a traditional dessert.
So it's tradition that you're focusing on here.
Well, I think if I went to the dessert aisle, I would expect to see apple pie.
okay,
but
is ice
brownies
cream
more
in
in
a
a snack
traditional
aisle.
dessert?
So what?
Is ice cream a traditional dessert?
Yes.
Right, but you can also have that as a snack whenever
Yeah,
you want it
little
as well.
pot. Either one of those
Yeah,
shitty spoons.
Yeah.
that yeah,
Your
but
logic
that
is
is a
shit.
dessert. It is a dessert, isn't
Oh,
it? Ice cream?
okay, right. Is that it? Right. Okay.
You can have whatever you
Okay,
want for dessert, but just make it dessert.
Cheers, mate. Doesn't sound like I can have whatever I want for
You
dessert.
can't. Anyone else can.
No need to call me that.
You absolute.
Okay, well, let's move on. Oh, do you know what annoys me? We've done 2 hours and 5 minutes of podcasting about video games, yet all the feedback's going to be about the last 2 minutes.
Nah, they're not going to give a shit.
It's all right. This next one will get us back on topic. MD Krabov
Go on.
says, "What luxury kitchen appliance do you covet?"
What?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't got all the bits I would need. So for me, it's going to be an air fryer because I haven't bought one yet.
One of them fancy cake mixers would be nice. I don't think because I'd only use it once every 3 months.
Dave, are you googling what covet means?
Yeah, I didn't know what. I've never heard that before.
Covet just
I've
means,
never heard
just
that in a
means
sentence.
I mean, do you want it desired?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it says here. Yeah, want.
Yeah.
Well, mine's a dishwasher. Never own one. Never owned a
You're getting one,
dishwasher.
aren't you?
Yeah, boy, it's
part of
been
the
sitting
old,
behind me for a long
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I'm just itching for it to be installed so
It's
I can
good stuff.
fucking
Because
use it.
when we first moved to a place with the dishwashers, when it was just me and New on our own, and you're kind of like, well, this is fine, but it doesn't really save that much time. And then as soon as you add a third person to the household, or a fourth in your case,
Yeah.
it's a fucking game changer. Like,
Yeah. It was funny though because the people at work were just laughing at me, because I work with people that have a history of having money. They were like, oh, is your kitchen done? I was like, yeah. Is your dishwasher installed yet? No, not yet. But I said, oh, we got the dishwasher tablets though, so we're pretty excited. Yeah, and the salt. I went, what? The dishwasher salt? You got that yet? I don't.
And the rinse aid.
Sorry, what? What? So someone had to go, no, come sit down. Look, you can't just put tablets in it and hope that it does the thing. And I'm like, I come home from work looking really stressed. And Joe's like, a bad day. I was like, yeah. Do you know what salt is, Joe? Because we need some. We need
And
some
vinegar.
salt now. Rinse aid. Have you heard of rinse aid,
rinse
Joe?
aid.
Because well, we've got some now. We don't know what to fucking do with it yet. But it's gonna be an interesting week in the Turner household.
hole that you pour it in. It's always dishwasher is always a good little test. What are you looking at that camera for?
No, I'm not doing anything, Sean.
Nice thing about having a
Perfectly
dishwasher is it's a good little test of whether or not you remember where you came from. Because if you ever catch yourself thinking, "Oh, I've got to load the dishwasher," it's like, shut up, shut the fuck up. You've got a dishwasher. Shut up. Like,
yeah, that's the game changer. Have you got?
Yeah,
a
I don't have
dishwasher in
one.
your flat?
I didn't have one. No. There is a space for it. I just haven't bothered. But even in the family home, I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't feel the need to get one. I mean, no. I'm sure if I had one, it'll be handy. But
yeah. It's one of those things. Once you've had one,
I think if I had one, it'd be hard to go back. But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't have an air fryer. I certainly am not going to get a dishwasher.
You got to get an air fryer. They're pretty good. Although it does feel like the life expectancy of an air fryer is about 2 years before it gets manky enough for you to go, this is not salvageable anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But is it that good that you would have instantly bought another one the second that one dies?
We can't live without it now. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not like the waffle maker that I bought. Yeah, rice cooker's another one. Digifolio. James Farley bought me ours. We didn't use it for 6 months because what the fuck do we need a rice cooker for? We've got microwavable rice now. And then you realise that for 1 pack of microwavable rice, you can have rice for a month and it tastes way better. So,
Slow cookers are amazing as well.
Rice cooker is like if you're gonna cook anything with rice in, you just set
Not
that up
rice
first and then forget about it for the rest of the making dinner, and then at the end it's like, oh yeah, the rice is done. You don't have to think about it being part of the process. It's just there.
no, it's just there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just realised we were talking about kitchen appliances. Okay.
Lee says, have you ever considered going Patreon only? And if not, why not? Because it would be insane.
nah.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know that idea. Yeah, not everyone wants to or can afford to pay.
most people won't want to pay, and
Yeah.
people are used to getting content for free. That would
Like, all right, maybe we'd convert a certain percentage of people who meant to sign up but just hadn't got around to it or whatever. But then, how many more people are you missing out on? And
Yeah,
the word of
Okay,
mouth.
but you
like,
saying
never
that
run
makes it sound like you this is a business decision.
Oh, I see.
How will we spread the word and get more money? We wouldn't be able to do that behind.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
even if you were being completely cynical about it, I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah,
even
no.
like the biggest people aren't Patreon only, which I think says a lot. You know,
Because I always find it interesting because I know, and like Matt, I know that we've been looking at some of Patreon. They'll send us emails. Presumably they send them to everyone. Like, oh, we're running this like seminar or whatever, and how And it's interesting because I don't see Patreon as a place where people will browse for other things to get into, whereas they clearly, I think they want it to be that, right?
Yeah, no, that's
whereas
stupid.
To me,
That's not a way
Patreon is
to do
a
it.
thing that you end up at once you've already found something you like.
yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
think I don't actually support any other patrons, but I think if you're a person who maybe has, and you go to your Patreon.com dashboard and you see the stuff you're supporting, you'll see all the various posts, like almost like it's a mini social network, plus other people you'll be recommended. I can see why that would make sense, but
You don't subscribe to any patrons.
No.
I'm on a few. One of them
Yeah, same.
has like a chat room in their channel. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a WhatsApp chat within their
Okay.
thing. That was pretty good.
Well, we do have a community chat, which I've never really utilised, but yeah.
All right, maybe we should. Although saying that, I can't access it because I'm not subscribing to my own Patreon. Thank you.
No, you just have to log in. You know,
Yeah,
to
just
pay.
log
Yeah, I
in
know,
with the TCGS
but
account.
I'm not going to do that, am I? I'm logged into my one with all my bits on it, so fuck off. You can't gift Patreon subscriptions either, can you?
Can you not?
I don't think
I
so.
thought you did. I thought you could.
It feels like a kind of
Alright.
thing you would be able to do.
Okay, maybe you can. All right, next question.
Miriam
Actually.
Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS, come deliver us from boredom. Charmed by your
Okay.
enthusiasm for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I was lost in thought about medieval-themed games. While TCGS's Archbishop of Canterbury is on holiday this week and could not speak to the wonders of the Middle Ages, I suspect there might be more to do with this long period of history than create an open-world RPG or tactical game out of it. For instance, what could you imagine Nintendo doing with a franchise title set in this period, like a stained glass Mario Paint entry? Keep up the fantastic work, sincerely, Maria."
I think it is a period of gaming that it's funny. It feels when you think about period games, like set in it. Assassin's Creed's done a ton of them, but they've all felt pretty similar. I really liked Far Cry Primal. Turns out I was the only one that did enjoy that game. It's going to be so hard to do a medieval style game. Would it be hard to do a medieval style game
What style of game,
alongside
then?
Kingdom?
I mean,
Well, just in set in that time period. There's got to be.
Pentiment is the one for me.
Yeah,
It's
you're right.
Really good.
Yeah, there's going to be tons of these.
Yeah, I'm doing that classic thing where, I've played one now, so
Yes.
now
I'm getting a lot of
this
Boss
is all
Baby
that
vibes
there
from
is.
this.
Yeah.
I think there's
Yeah.
Matt, isn't there like a VR? There's like a blacksmith game, isn't there?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if it's any good though.
Don't know, actually.
Okay.
Surely probably is. There's
Out
lots
the
of them on
biz
there.
now, he doesn't
Lots
give
of
a
them out there.
shit.
Give a fuck about VR anymore, mate. No one liked it anyway. Bullshit.
Doomed tech.
Old tech.
But
Fuck
yeah,
it.
I think there's definitely. And then what's that? What's it called? There's a game where it's not historical, but where you like making potions and stuff for people. You run like a potion shop.
Oh yeah, I just literally someone the other day told me about this.
Yeah, this might be good. Can't remember what it's
Maybe it was on
called,
this
though.
very show. I don't know.
So yeah, there's definitely other stuff you can do with it, and I think like the fact that we keep talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance, and we're like, oh yeah, the fighting and stealth is bad, which kind of speaks to the fact that as just a little slice of life.
I think that game's
simulator-
called Witch-tastic, by the way.
Oh okay.
I think.
It's
Oh man, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
when you mentioned that cocktail, not the cocktail, the potion making game. I still get memories of playing that bloody Happy Hour Last Call PC game where you make cocktails. I don't know why. I think it was clearly had an impression on my life at one point, but for some happy hour I can't remember something a game where you were sitting working at a bar and then you had to make cocktails and stuff.
Yeah.
So doing that in a medieval setting sounds all right, actually. I approve. I can approve. As long as it's not as in depth as the potion making stuff in Kingdom Come Deliverance, because holy shit, that is a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, just get a bit long.
It does get a bit long.
Last question comes from Alan AirPods Pro. He says, all right, chaps, I know you were taking the piss with the Dr. Farley audio book, but if that was on Audible, I would slap down my monthly credit for a tome by the legendary bad boy of Chinese propaganda studies. Maybe the good doctor could stick some of his unsold copies on the TCGS store, signed and personalised. I'm sure they would fly off the virtual shelves. Talking of unsold merch, has Sean got any Midnight Resistance gear left over? I need to replace mine. Kiss, kiss. Alan, I have, and I need to sort that out because they're just sitting in my wardrobe. Just like all bagged up, obviously. They're not like on hangers, like like just in case. But they're
Which
all
ones?
the one with the EDF artwork on it.
EDF?
The mech fight in the.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
I'll take one of those.
Yeah, because I gave mine away.
Well,
I threw mine out to a crowd.
Basically, all the sort of mediums and larges have gone, but Matt, you probably fit into a small, right?
Maybe not these days.
Lean
But yeah, if
Any
you're smalls,
XLs? Any XLs?
I think we've got some XLs. Yeah.
I'll take one of those.
But yeah, I'll need to. It's just one of those like figuring out a way of doing it, and I mean I don't want any money, obviously, because that would get awkward.
Yeah, would it?
well, you could say ultra rare, all sorts.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe just put one
Vintage.
Yeah, no, I just if you can just cover postage, that'd be absolutely fine.
Oh,
I'm
fuck
not doing
that. Sent for free, mate.
Fuck
So
you,
just bring
mate.
it to our
mate.
next live show and just
Fuck
fling
you,
them out.
mate.
Yeah, exactly. It worked before, Sean.
A good reminder that we've still got our merch store open. We haven't plugged it a lot recently, but we really need to bring back the TCGS logo shirt, which we should probably do pretty soon.
Oh,
but
that reminds
tcgs.co/store.
Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry?
I was going to say, that reminds me, we've not talked about this. 13th of September, the TCGS Running Club is going to have its inaugural outing at Tatton Park. This was something that came about on the Discord, where there's the health and fitness channel, which I only occasionally poke my head in because I'm fat and lazy, basically. And a couple of the listeners were like, oh, should we do a run at some point this year, like all meet up somewhere? And a couple of people suggested Tatton Park, where I used to fucking live. So I was like, well, it'd be really embarrassing if I didn't try, right? So I've signed up as well. and Matt, I believe you're keen.
Yeah, I need something to get myself back in the saddle, as it were. So yeah, I'll sign up.
Well, this is it. I'm sort of thinking if I just book myself in and then just let the fear do the rest, maybe I'll actually start some running.
It's the only way you do anything like that. Yeah, you got to, yeah.
So yeah, basically, so if anyone's keen, have a look in the Discord, and yeah, it'd be really nice to get like a proper group going, and then obviously we'll all meet up and I don't know, go for food or drinks or whatever afterwards, and probably raise some money for charity. I don't see why not. We should probably try and do that. That would be really cool. So yeah, I probably won't mention it for a while now, so I don't think there'll be any developments for a bit. But yes, if you're keen, have a look at the Discord and have a look in the health and fitness channel.
And if we can get some actual legit running vests, because I wear running vests, so if I can get like an actual one in the same kind of material, TCGS style, that'd be incredible.
Yeah, that'd be sick. So
all right.
Yeah.
That's the 13th of September order, by the way, if anyone wants to get involved.
When's the tattoo thing happening? That's the question.
Don't know. I need to chase them again, really.
You need to give him a date. We need to agree a date first. We can't just keep. Do you know what I mean? We need a date, Matt. Have a think about a date.
I think about a date.
I think about a date.
All right. Is that it for the feedback?
It is.
And let's get to the socials, Matt.
Yes, we stream this live on Twitch every Monday night. Go to twitch.tv/TCGSco, where you can also watch James stream Bloodborne. He didn't do it on Friday, obviously, because it's Valentine's Day, but he'll be back this Friday, hopefully, to do some Bloodborne, but he's away, so maybe just, who knows. But you can go to twitch.tv/TCGSco and follow us and find out when we do a stream next. If you've got Amazon Prime and a Twitch account, an extra account, you get something called Twitch Prime Gaming, where you can get a free sub every month to give to a channel of your choice. Why not go to our channel and give us your free sub. We really appreciate everyone that does that for us. If you miss the streams live or want to watch the show on Wednesdays onwards, go to youtube.com/@TCGS. We're also on Blue Sky, we're on Patreon, we've got a website, but go to tcgs.co for links to all of them. With us, Blue Sky, our Patreon, store, etc. podcast, it's all on there. So tcgs.co is where you need to go.
Thank you so much for living it. We'll be back next week, hopefully with James Farley. Remember that guy? Special guest on next week's show. You're just going to say and then leave it at that, are you?
I'm just trying to remember if I do remember him.
Okay. Do you?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, he's written them expensive books, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the guy who would have prevented us reading out half those questions we just did, for better
Correct.
or worse.
Thank you so much for living it. We'll be catching you next week for more video game chit chat. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Love you.
I like you.